Chapter 62. Baojia's internal organs are badly injured. If only the spleen is injured, the doctors would have removed it long ago. However, Baojia's internal organs are all damaged. How could a normal car accident cause such a situation? What happened before Baojia shouted, "Help me"? Lin Luoran suppresses the hatred in her heart. She directs Reiki to nourish Baojia's damaged internal organs while looking at Baojia's head. The extravasated blood in the skull should have been removed by the doctors. Why is there still a lot of extravasated blood? Is it just a craniotomy? It can't be. So many doctors have been busy for a long time. It's impossible that they didn't even remove the extravasated blood. Lin Luoran checks Baojia's brain with doubts. She finds that some small blood vessels in the brain are oozing blood. This is not normal. The human body's self-healing ability is enough to deal with this kind of minor bleeding. Why is Baojia bleeding constantly? Is it all Zhou Yaoi's doing? How did he do it? Lin Luoran hopes that Reiki works. Not just hope, but must work. Lin Luoran sends a stream of Reiki to Baojia's skull to repair the blood vessels. Even if the blood vessels are broken, Lin Luoran will block them with Reiki. The original form of spiritual energy was originally small molecules that existed in the world, smaller than cells. In order to remove the impurities in their bodies, cultivators would constantly meditate and absorb spiritual energy. Through continuous tempering, the spiritual energy would be transformed into spiritual energy, or even a higher level of spiritual origin. Under the effect of Lin Luoran's Reiki, Baojia's damaged organs are gradually nourished. The bad cells are constantly removed and new cells are dividing and growing. In Lin Luoran's eyes, it is slow because she is in a hurry. In fact, if she had asked the doctors outside to come in and observe with a microscope, they would have exclaimed that it was a miracle. Lin Luoran repairs the skull and the internal organs at the same time. However, she is just at the stage of training qi into her body. Her pubic region and sea of Reiki haven't formed yet. She can't rely on her foundation to restore Reiki. She has to rely on the bead for everything. Compared with Lin Luoran's consumption, the bead's Reiki is too slow and too little. It has only been 10 minutes since Lin started to treat Baojia. Sweat the size of soybeans has appeared on Lin's forehead. This is an operating room with a constant temperature. The temperature will not be too high or too low. The sweat on Lin Luoran's forehead is because she has used up all the Reiki in her body. The Reiki in her body begins to run out. This is her body's instinctive reaction. The transmission of the bead was too slow. What should I do? What should I do? The Reiki in Lin Luoran's meridians are all sucked out. She can't support such a huge treatment at all. The Reiki delivered by the bead is pure, but it is just a drop in the bucket for Baojia's injury. Under the nourishment of Reiki, Baojia's damaged internal organs are quickly healed. At this time, Baojia's metabolism is extremely fast. New cells full of vitality keep dividing, pushing out the dead and damaged cells. In just 20 minutes, Baojia's body is covered with stinky sweat. If a cultivator were here, he would beat his chest and stamp his feet with jealousy and hatred. Lin Luoran is not treating Baojia's injury. She is clearly sacrificing the Reiki she has refined to change Baojia's physique. It is not the bone marrow cleansing and tendons changing, but definitely the power transfer in martial arts. Before a person dies, he or she will transfer all the power in his or her body to the younger generation through a special kung fu. The way of heaven is merciless. Cultivators are mostly those who abandon the mortal world to pursue the way of heaven. They can kill their fellow disciples for an elixir. Why would they waste the spiritual energy that they have painstakingly refined for a lowly mortal? Lin Luoran's whole body is trembling. Her hands on Baojia's body have begun to spasm. Her consciousness is blurred, time and space change. It is a small town with a misty rain. A 17-year-old high school girl has finished her evening self-study. She holds a pile of books and rides a bicycle for more than 10 miles to go home. It's not that she doesn't want to live in school, but that her family conditions don't allow her to. She is a sensible girl and doesn't want to squeeze more blood and sweat from her parents, so she chooses to live in school. The 17-year-old girl already has a beautiful face and a graceful figure. Her curves have begun to develop. She is young but attractive. Hidden under the loose school uniform, she becomes more and more imaginative. She has walked this alley many times. Although it is dark and empty, it is the fastest way to get out. The girl purses her lips and tries to cheer herself up. The neon lights in the small town are not gorgeous, but the girl is still very happy to see the faint street lights at the entrance of the alley. She steps hard and the bicycle is about to rush out of the dark alley. However, she feels that the bicycle stops. The girl looks around with the light at the entrance of the alley. She doesn't know where the hands come from and grab the back seat of the bicycle. She screams, but her mouth is covered by another pair of hands. 3 hooligans drag the girl into the alley with their hands covering her mouth. At the age of 17, she is not as calm as she is today. Encountering this kind of thing, she is so flustered that she doesn't know what to do. Those dirty hands are touching her through her clothes. The girl tries hard not to let her tears fall, but she feels so lost and helpless. What to do? The sound of a motorcycle slowly approaches from afar. There are people coming to such a desolate place. The girl's flustered heart slowly calms down. This is her only hope. She suddenly bites hard on the sweaty hand covering her mouth. The man lets go in pain. Help! Help me! She thinks that her cry will be very loud, but she has already lost her strength in fear. It is just like the whine of a stray cat. After the initial panic, the 3 men burst into vulgar laughter as the motorcycle drove through the alley without knowing what was going on. You think someone is coming to save you? Ha ha ha. Stop dreaming. Dream, is it really a dream? The girl's heart is filled with despair, but she is not willing to give up like this. She kicks and screams, but she can't struggle against the arms of the men who have the natural advantage. Rip, the shirt under the school uniform is torn, and her white skin is exposed to the damp air of the small town. When the obscene big hands touch her collarbone, the girl finally can't help but close her eyes, and tears of crystal and despair fall. A fishy smell approaches. The disgusting man shows his yellow teeth and rubs them on the girl's face full of tears. Vroom, vroom, the rapid acceleration and braking sound, the incandescent light is like a torch, illuminating the dirty alley. The girl suddenly opens her eyes and looks at the heavy motorcycle in disbelief. Is this, the car just now? I hate people like you the most, bitches. The rider says twice. It is actually a woman's voice. The 3 men look at each other and laugh. I was worried that one is not enough, and now there is another one. Brothers, tonight is really a good day, ha 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 ha. The 3 men rush up, and the girl's heart darkens. The original hope that originally surged up turns into regret. It is she who harmed others. If she doesn't ask for help, who knew that the next moment, the scene they imagined did not happen? The female rider in leather clothes and pants threw out a backpack with one hand, hitting one of the criminals. She nimbly flipped over and got off the car. She raised her right foot and directly kicked the other criminal in the face. One hit to win, and the 2 criminals are temporarily knocked to the ground. While the last criminal is stunned, the female rider takes off the helmet on her head and throws it at him with all her strength. The girl forgets to blink, and the female rider, who can't see her face clearly, stomps her feet. Get on the bike. She uses all her strength to pull her up from the ground and pulls her onto the bike. The 3 men had recovered from the pain and wanted to surround her, but the female rider had already ignited the accelerator, turned the handle, and rushed out of the alley. She cursed, but when she saw the motorcycle on the main road, she didn't dare to act rashly anymore. She could only hide in the shadows again. The bike doesn't stop until it reaches the brightly lit square. Looking at the crowd around, the girl finally can't help crying. The female rider has the courage to fight with the 3 criminals, but seeing the girl's tears, she is anxious, stomps her feet, and rushes into the roadside fast food restaurant. Here, for you. Still against the light, the girl looks up and sees the female rider holding a cup of hot soybean milk in her hand. You are the new student in the 3rd class, Qin Baojia. The girl suddenly recognizes her savior, and forgets to cry for a moment. She points at the female rider while sobbing. Qin Baojia notices the school uniform on the girl. She really goes to the same high school as her. While thinking, she forcibly puts the soybean milk into the girl's hand with tears on her face. It's good that you know her. Don't cry. My scalp is numb when I hear others cry. Drink soybean milk, drink soybean milk. Frightened and in the cold spring, a cup of hot soybean milk is undoubtedly attractive to the girl. The one standing opposite her is Qin Baojia, who saved her and is also from the same high school. The girl feels relaxed and unconsciously bites the straw of the soybean milk. You. How did you have the courage to come back to save me? The girl sips the soybean milk, and her voice is as low as a mosquito. Ah, you mean this. Who would like to save you? I just hate those bastards who do this kind of thing. Qin Baojia makes a gesture of cutting her throat, and suddenly says fiercely, by the way, can you shout louder next time you encounter this kind of thing? You sound like a cat. If I didn't pass by, who would come to save you? Although Qin Baojia doesn't admit that she deliberately turned back to save her, and her attitude is also fierce, the girl feels that Qin Baojia, who is said to be very difficult to get along with and famous in the whole grade, is actually as warm as the cup of soybean milk in her hand. Lin Luoran, my name is Lin Luoran. From now on, you are my good friend. When you are in danger, I will also come to save you. Lin Luoran raises her head and solemnly promises, but Qin Baojia sneers, drink your soybean milk. Who do you want to save when you are a punching bag? Lin Luoran lowers her head because of her laughter, and she can't help biting the straw hard. If Qin Baojia didn't save her, according to her character, she would probably die in that alley after being insulted. I am serious. I owe you my life. I swear that I will definitely come to save you when you are in danger. The feeling of exhaustion of meridians hits Lin Luoran's consciousness. The promise she made on that night 10 years ago supports her to be strong and supports her belief that she won't give up until the last moment. She is carrying more than one life. She hasn't paid back the life she owes to Baojia, so she can't fall down. Lin Luoran grits her teeth and draws out the last trace of Reiki to nourish her meridians. Then she can't hold it anymore and falls beside the operating table. At the last second before losing consciousness, Lin Luoran feels desperate. Is she still unable to save Baojia? Chapter 63. Silly Girl. The sigh seems to come from the fairy mountain in the sky, simple and desolate. The sigh only lasts for a breath and then disappears in the blink of an eye. However, it carries the breath of reincarnation. Lin Luoran, who is in a coma, can't hear it. In fact, even if she is awake, she won't be able to detect the sigh because of the difference between their realms. After the sigh, the bead rises slowly. A strong suction pulls Lin Luoran's arm up and then she stands up. Lin Luoran's eyes are still closed, but her hands are moving. The fingertips of her right hand move slightly. Mysterious lines appear under her fingers little by little. At last, they form a simple and profound pattern, shining with a faint golden light in the air. In fact, at this time, the earth is no longer a holy land for cultivation. Most of the land is occupied by the gray fog. The remaining Reiki has been contaminated by the fog for a long time and become irritable. It is no longer suitable for cultivators to absorb. However, the moment the golden pattern appears in Lin Luoran's hand, it starts to absorb the thin and irritable Reiki in the air. The agitated Reiki molecules are like naughty children meeting their kind mother. They are rebellious at first, but they gradually feel scared and admit their mistakes. In the end, they all snuggle up to their mother. More and more Reiki come into being. The molecules rush to tell each other like children receiving candy. After a quarter of an hour, more and more Reiki surround the golden pattern. It becomes peaceful and quiet. Lin Luoran is in a coma. Her fingers are changing gestures unconsciously. However, in her deeper consciousness, she seems to see a figure with fluttering sleeves writing an unrecognizable pattern in the air. Subconsciously, Lin Luoran wants to imitate that pattern. The Reiki come closer and closer. With Baojia's operating table as the center, it cleans the air around the hospital and sweeps away the gray fog. At this moment, all the people in the military hospital, doctors and patients, feel that they can breathe easily. It seems that the quality of the air has suddenly improved. Outside the operating room, Commander Qin, who has been waiting for a long time, feels the change in the air. His eyes light up with joy. This feeling is so similar. Is it her who is performing the spell? Soldiers who are full of hostility are actually the most aware of the changes in the environment. Lu Sanchun also opens his eyes wide. He did not have the concept of Taoism in his mind, so he did not know what was going on inside. However, he instinctively sensed that some rather supernatural changes must have taken place in the operating room. Is there hope for Miss? Lu Sanchun's heart is in his throat. At the same time, an ordinary-looking black Audi happened to pass by the military headquarters. Suddenly entering such an environment, an old man sitting in the back seat, who was coughing non-stop, shuddered and revealed a look of disbelief. Stop! Stop the car! The driver was also over 50 years old. He could not remember how many years it had been since the old man had used such an urgent tone. He quickly stepped on the brakes. Grandpa, what's wrong? The old man's body was getting worse, and the driver was quite worried, thinking that he was not feeling well again. Seeing the old man's car suddenly stop, many men in black got out of the cars in front and behind him and surrounded the Audi. A guard who seemed to be the leader walked up and looked around cautiously. He asked the driver in a low voice, "What's going on?" The driver shook his head and pointed at the old man in the back seat who had his eyes closed as if he was sensing something. The old man endured the violent shock in his mind and opened his eyes. You all leave. Drive the car to the side of the road, as close to the hospital as possible. The leader of the guards left, and the driver also started the car and parked it on the side of the road. He had been with the old man for the longest time, so he couldn't help but ask, "Grandpa," the old man coughed, "Don't worry. There is a master in the hospital. Such pure and auspicious Reiki is very good for this old man who should have died long ago." Thinking of the old man's illness for many years, the driver, who knew a lot about these things, wanted to say something but hesitated. He was struggling. The old man knew him very well. He waved his hand. He can mobilize such a large range of Reiki and is not afraid of backfire. I guess he is the only living ancestor. Besides, he is in a place like the hospital, so he must be performing a spell to save people. It is our blessing to be able to absorb the Reiki mobilized by the ancestor at such a close distance. How dare I disturb him? Don't mention your idea. Then he closed his eyes and actually entered the state of meditation on the side of the street. The driver, who was over 50 years old, struggled for a moment and sighed silently. In the end, he stayed in the car quietly and guarded the old man. In the hospital operating room, the golden light on Lin Luoran's fingertip is getting stronger. Maybe the pattern in the air has absorbed enough Reiki, or maybe Lin Luoran's body is not strong enough to support such a powerful and mysterious pattern. After absorbing too much Reiki, the golden pattern is getting stronger and stronger, and it is about to disperse. Lin Luoran closes her eyes and frowns. The golden light is about to disperse. No matter how unwilling she is, she can only move her fingers slightly and inject the pure power formed by the golden pattern into Baojia's body on the operating table. As the golden light goes into Baojia's body, the Reiki that was approaching the operating table loses its target and becomes disordered again. It retreats faster than it came. However, the area within the hospital is the territory that the Reiki army has just occupied. The gray fog that was forced far away from the general hospital of the military region can't come back for a while, let alone the operating room where the sacred bead is. Outside the hospital, the old man in the back seat of the black Audi slowly opens his eyes and wakes up from the state of meditation. The look in his eyes changes, but he doesn't dare to disturb the master who has finished performing the spell in the hospital. He orders the cars to start again and the cars disappear in the surging traffic of the capital. Lin Luoran, who has been mistaken as a master, knows nothing about what has happened. After the golden light goes into Baojia's body, Lin Luoran, a marionette, loses control and falls heavily on the edge of the operating table. The operating room is quiet. The golden light is obviously much more powerful than Lin Luoran's Wakan. Before the golden light goes into Baojia's body, the golden light starts to disperse and the spell has failed. However, the remaining power quickly nourishes Baojia's seriously damaged internal organs and completes the last step for Lin Luoran, completely improving Baojia's physique. Commander Qin hears the sound of Baojia falling to the ground and realizes that something is wrong. After struggling for a long time, he opens the door and takes a look. Lin Luoran has fainted on the ground and Baojia is still lying on the operating table. Did the spell fail? Doctor, come in. Lu Sanchun rushes in first, followed by Lu Zheng. Then a large group of doctors and nurses rush in. Doctor, the patients, the electrocardiogram. A sharp-eyed nurse sees the changes on the electrocardiogram and she is so surprised that she can't speak clearly. The attending doctor is surprised at first, and then he yells, "Check the patient's status. The electrocardiogram is stable. Start the rescue immediately. Breathing is normal. Heartbeat is normal. Pupil light sensitivity is normal." Not only the attending doctor, but everyone present also heard the data, from dying to normal. The beautiful woman who had fainted on the ground, had she created a miracle? Chapter 64. On the top of the cliff, the mountains are surrounded by clouds and mist. The land of China is still a land of water and swamps. Miasma is everywhere. Birds, beasts, flowers and plants are everywhere. There are tigers with wings under their armpits, giant snakes that are dozens of feet long, golden eagles that can cover trees when they open their wings, huge poisonous toads with bulging backs. Beautiful mountains and swamps coexist with poisonous miasma. This is a chaotic era where people have just developed intelligence. It seems that there is no one on the earth. Until one day, a figure wearing a robe with wide sleeves suddenly appears on the cliff. The figure stands alone on the top of the mountain with long hair dancing in the wind. It is hard to tell whether the figure is a man or a woman. For this man, the tiger lowered its head, the eagle landed on the ground, and the snake swam up from the swamp to worship him. All kinds of poisonous insects and beasts retreated, quickly disappearing in front of the man in the long robe. However, the man in robe turns a blind eye to the outside world. He just raises his right hand and writes the pattern that Lin Luoran wrote when she was unconscious. On his jade-like wrist, a bright pearl shines brighter and brighter than the sun in the sky. The golden light quickly gathered under the hand of the man in the robe and became brighter and brighter. It seemed that only the hand, the bead, and the glowing golden pattern were left in the world. The background of the primitive world was almost eclipsed by such a splendid spell. Lin Luoran feels that she is standing on a rampart like a passerby, watching the man in robe casting spells in fear. Based on her instinct, she feels that the golden light gathering under the man's hand has the power to destroy the world and disturb the order of the world. Standing on the rampart, she unconsciously wants to imitate the pattern. However, as soon as she moves her fingers, the man in robe seems to notice it. He suddenly turns around and looks at Lin Luoran across thousands of years of time and space. Lin Luoran's spiritual mind feels stinging. She feels that she is thrown out of a world in an instant. She opens her eyes. White walls, white bedsheets. Am I in a hospital bed? The nurse who is changing her drip sees her open her eyes and says in surprise, "Miss Lin, you are awake." Lin Luoran nods gently. She first checks her body and finds that the exhausted Reiki is filling up her meridians again. Maybe it is the bead's slow delivery. After checking her body, Lin Luoran breathes a sigh of relief. How long have I been in a coma? Maybe because she hasn't spoken for a long time, her voice is dry and not as clear as it used to be. The nurse changes Lin Luoran's drip quickly and says softly, "Miss Lin, you have been in a coma for 5 days." 5 days? How is Baojia now? Lin Luoran doesn't know what is going on and she doesn't dare to ask. She is afraid to hear bad news from the nurse. While she is hesitating, the door of the ward is pushed open. It is the soldier named Lu Sanchun who comes in with a basket of flowers. Seeing that Lin is awake, he smiles. Then he seems to think of something. "Pa!" He salutes to Lin Luoran with his military boots. Lu, hesitation. Lu of military. Lu of Lu. Lu, of. Lin Luoran salutes again, "Miss Lin, thank you so much. You were out of danger 5 days ago. The commander will be very happy to know that you are awake." Lin Luoran is finally relieved. In this case, the dream in her memory may not be fake, right? In the dream, she writes mysterious patterns in the air with her eyes closed and her long hair moving without wind. The last golden light goes into Baojia's body. It must be that golden light that saved Baojia. Can I see Baojia? Lin Luoran has been in a coma for 5 days, but she doesn't find any other discomfort. The reason why she fainted on the same day is that she ran out of Reiki and exhausted her energy. Before Lu Sanchun says anything, the nurse says awkwardly, "Miss Lin, you just woke up. Let the doctor check you first." Lin Luoran smiles, "It doesn't matter. I know my body well. Could you please buy a bowl of porridge for me and send it to Miss Chin's ward? People who can live in the intensive care unit of the General Military Hospital can't only be rich. If they are not rich, they can't even know the room number." The nurse has done her duty. Lin Luoran insists, so she has to inform the doctor and buy porridge for her. "Well, now there are no outsiders here. Can you tell me the truth?" Lin Luoran is sensitive. How can she not feel that Lu Sanchun is not telling the truth? Therefore, she deliberately sends the nurse away and asks clearly when there is no one around. Lin Luoran knows what is going on so she doesn't panic. Lu Sanchun is not good at talking. He doesn't know how to tell her clearly. He can only say what he knows one by one. Lin Luoran frowns for a while, and then smiles for a while. "You mean, according to the doctor, Baojia is now a healthy person, but she has been in a coma like me and can't be woken up by any method?" Lu Sanchun nods and sneaks a look at Lin Luoran who is lying on the bed with respect. To be honest, as a Huaxia soldier from the mountains, Lu Sanchun has seen a lot of blood when carrying out secret missions. However, he doesn't know who the Taoism in front of him is. When the doctors rushed in that day, they found that the internal injury on Mrs. body that couldn't stop bleeding was healed, and even the surface wound was healing. Is this a miracle? Lin Luoran thinks for a moment but can't understand it. She opens the book and gets out of bed. She is wearing a loose hospital gown. Fortunately, her clothes have been washed and hung in the cabinet. Lin Luoran goes to the toilet to change her clothes. She moves her hands and feet and feels strong. She doesn't look like a person who has been hungry for 5 days. She turns to Lu Sanchun and says, "Let's go. Please take me to see Baojia." Lu Sanchun is also a soldier. He only respects Lin Luoran. He is not shy like a weak woman. Hearing this, he takes Lin Luoran out of the ward and walks to Baojia's ward. In the long white corridor, Lu Sanchun unconsciously lightens his footsteps in his military boots. Lin Luoran follows him. She is so light that she doesn't make a sound. Can't be woken up by any method. Chapter 65. The doctor is doing a routine examination, Commander Qin is whispering to Lu Zheng on the sofa, the nurses are busy helping, and the soldiers are standing guard at the door. Everything is so quiet. It's not that Commander Qin is ungrateful. After saving Baojia, Lin Luoran leaves Baojia alone. Baojia's ward is deserted. It's just that after Lin Luoran pulled Baojia back from the gates of hell, Commander Qin has ordered everyone to keep it a secret. However, Commander Qin can't seal other people's minds. Everyone regards Lin Luoran as a hidden master. Who dares to disturb her? Grandpa Qin. Lin Luoran stands at the door and calls Grandpa. Commander Qin raises his head and smiles when he sees that Lin Luoran is awake. Lin. Girl, you are awake. Come here and sit down. Don't run around. The girl is a little hesitant. Commander Qin doesn't know how to face Lin Luoran, a young master of Taoism. Lin Luoran understands this, but she doesn't say much. If she insists on expressing her position now, it will make her seem distant. She might as well let it go. Baojia's grandpa is used to it, so everyone will be the same as before. I'm here to see Baojia. I heard from Officer Lu that she hasn't woken up yet. Commander Qin is not worried about this. Taoism has thousands of magic arts. Since Baojia can be pulled back from the gates of hell, Commander Qin won't let her sleep forever. Even if Baojia becomes a vegetable, there is still a chance for her to wake up, which is better than death. Commander Qin is quite open-minded. However, since Lin Luoran asks, Commander Qin can only nod. If he is not worried about Lin Luoran's health, he would like to ask her to take a look at Baojia right now. Can I have a look again? Baojia is surrounded by a group of medical staff. Lin Luoran can't see anything from the distance, so she asks Commander Qin for his opinion. The attending physician and the nurses who witnessed the miracle have been silent since Lin Luoran walked in. They are hoping to see the master again. In terms of medicine, their desire for knowledge is no less than Lin Luoran's desire for lack of spells when she was a cultivator. However, Commander Qin obviously doesn't give them the chance to watch. He politely asks them to leave and sends Lu Sanchun to guard the door. Only Lu Zheng is allowed to stay in the ward. She hasn't seen Lu Zheng for a few days and he seems to have lost a lot of weight. Lin Luoran glances at him and sees that his knuckles are almost visible. Lin Luoran doesn't know why. Maybe it's because of Baojia's accident, or maybe it's because of Lu Zheng's silence when Mrs. Zhou came to make a scene that day. Lin Luoran feels that the distance between them has widened by a light year. After all the medical staff have left, Lin Luoran comes to Baojia's bed and observes Baojia's condition. Unlike Baojia on the operating table that day, Baojia's breath is smooth and the blood on her body is gone. Her shaved black hair has grown by 2 inches, which is quite abnormal in just 5 days. The scar left by the craniotomy has healed at an amazing speed. It is not hard to imagine that in a few days, even the scar will disappear. Lin Luoran tries to use Reiki to check Baojia's body. Baojia's metabolism is very fast, her damaged internal organs are as good as new, and her qi and blood are even more vigorous than ordinary people. But why does she keep sleeping? Lin Luoran feels that she has missed something, so she checks again. There is nothing wrong with the internal organs. Lin Luoran turns her eyes to Baojia's meridians. She was going to skip it, but after a cursory check, she finds something surprising: those silver threads are swimming. Lin Luoran doesn't see them every day. If they are not Reiki, what are they? Mortals didn't know how to meditate and exhale. Even if they were lucky enough to have spiritual energy and spiritual materials enter their bodies, it would only take effect for a brief moment. After that, the spiritual energy would escape from the body and never stay in the meridians of the body. Take the palm strike between Lin Luoran and Mu Tiannan as an example. Mu Tiannan is a master of martial arts, but he has no foundation of cultivation. The tricky Reiki left by Lin Luoran in his body will only annoy him from time to time. Usually, it will disappear after a few days. Is the Reiki left in Baojia's meridians from 5 days ago? Lin Luoran has a feeling that it is not so simple. She withdraws her spiritual mind and thinks for a while with her eyes closed. She opens her eyes and asks, "Grandpa Qin, is there anything wrong with Baojia these days except that she is in a coma?" Commander Qin thinks for a while. She has been in a coma, but her functions are normal. There seems to be nothing wrong with her. Lu Zheng, who has been silent, knocks on the table with his fingers. I overheard the nurse saying that Baojia changes her hospital gown and bedsheets very frequently. It seems that she sweats a lot these days, and the sweat is black. No matter how much Commander Qin cares about Baojia, he doesn't pay much attention to such trivial things. Lin Luoran's eyes light up after hearing Lu Zheng's words, black sweat, unconscious Baojia, and Reiki in Baojia's meridians. Does it mean that Baojia can also cultivate? Lin Luoran remembers the stinky black cocoon when she was purifying her marrow and changing her meridians. She also remembers the painful process when the red fruit took effect in the middle of the night. Compared with Baojia's current state, maybe it is a blessing in disguise. What Lin Luoran is going through is a relatively gentle process of changing her physique. The more Lin Luoran thinks about it, the more likely it is. She can't help but smile. Seeing that Lin Luoran is relaxed, Commander Qin's frown also becomes smooth. As long as his only granddaughter is fine, he will be a happy old man again. Luoran, look at your smile. Is Baojia okay? Lin Luoran smiles mysteriously. She is more than okay. Maybe it is a blessing in disguise. Everything depends on when she wakes up. Thinking that Baojia may lay the foundation of cultivation because of this injury, Lin Luoran is also happy. The path of cultivation is long. Lin Luoran has always been worried that one day her family and friends will not be with her for a long time. Now, although her parents haven't made any progress in breathing, at least Baojia has taken a step forward. More importantly, because of the exhaustion of Reiki, Lin Luoran seems to have triggered a deeper existence in the bead. If she can copy the pattern, she can at least learn a thing or two, and her parents will be able to cultivate smoothly. Since Baojia's accident, the haze hanging over Lin Luoran's head is swept away. A big worry in her heart is solved, and Lin Luoran's state of mind has been improved in a short time. Influenced by her, the atmosphere in the ward becomes relaxed. Chapter 66. The smile on Commander Qin's face disappears. Isn't he being detained by the branch office? Baojia can be saved and he will definitely be charged with attempted murder. How dare the Zhou family protect him? What kind of law is this? Commander Qin's kind grandfatherly side disappears instantly. He finally shows a little bit of the vigor of a soldier. Grandpa Qin, don't be angry. Let's hear what Officer Lu has to say. Seeing that Commander Qin is so angry, Lin Luoran is worried about Commander Qin's health and comforts him gently. After all, Commander Qin has just recovered from the shock of Baojia's death. Lu Sanchun finally gets a chance to speak. Commander, it seems that the Zhou family is not the one who protected Zhou Yaowei. The branch office gave a vague statement. It is said that there is a secret department involved. I don't have enough authority to know more details. Secret department? Something like Dragon Group that often appears in novels. Lin Luoran frowns. It is normal for the government to have a secret department that ordinary people don't know about. However, it is not normal for the government to protect a murder suspect, unless the suspect is not an ordinary person. Thinking of Baojia's bleeding cerebral vessels and damaged internal organs, Lin Luoran feels that all the mysteries are focused on Zhou Yaowei, a playboy who dares to hit people with a car. Commander Qin is both happy and worried to hear that the Zhou family is not the one who protected Baojia. Baojia is killed by the only son of the Zhou family. The influence of this incident in the capital is far greater than that of the incident itself. The conflict between the Zhou and the Qin family has escalated into a conflict between the military and the government. In peacetime, the military of the state of Huaxia is not as powerful as it was during the war. The situation is even more obvious when it comes to the leader of a country. It is like the difference between the civil and the military in the feudal system. It is good enough that they don't fight each other, let alone get along well with each other. The Zhou family is in politics and the Qin family is in the army. They have been working together for decades. Now they have to be compared with each other. As time goes by, they will become enemies. Now the only son of the Zhou family is committing murder in the capital. People who don't know the truth think it's a normal traffic accident. However, people who are qualified to know the truth know that Mr. Zhou is killing people in the street. This was the peaceful Huaxia kingdom on the whole, not the era of warlords and warlords. Not to mention the dirty secrets in the dark, this kind of public murder in the capital still touched the bottom line of many people, especially with the different statuses of the Zhou and Qin families. Not only were the big shots in the military very dissatisfied, but many people in the civil service were also frowning. Of course, the political enemies of the Zhou family are looking forward to Commander Qin's counterattack. However, the military leaders know that Commander Qin and Old Zhou have a deep relationship. Old Zhou is dead, but people can't cool down so quickly. They are waiting for Commander Qin to make a decision. If the only daughter of the Qin family died, this grudge would never be resolved. No matter how many connections there were, could they replace the only bloodline? However, if Qin Baojia is alive, things become complicated. The political enemies who are ready to give the Zhou family a fatal blow have to stop and wait for Commander Qin's reaction. In most people's view, as long as Qin Baojia is alive, the conflict between the Zhou and Qin families can be resolved with benefits. However, at this time, Mr. Zhou doesn't wait for the Zhou and Qin families to compromise. He jumps out of the whirlpool first, with the help of the special department. This makes the Zhou family happy. The only son of the Zhou family, who has been despised by the social circle in the capital, has a relationship with the special department behind their back. Who dares to say that Zhou Yaowei is a useless playboy now? Besides, the special department is under the name of the military intelligence. Mrs. Zhou, who felt wronged before, suddenly feels that Commander Qin is the one to take revenge. You people are in the same system. Aren't you also fighting among yourselves? Lin Luoran certainly doesn't know what people are thinking about. All these changes have happened in such a short time. Commander Qin doesn't say anything immediately after hearing that it is the special department. Lin Luoran doesn't know the situation, so she can't give any advice. After Commander Qin leaves with Lu Sanchun, Lu Zheng says that he has something to do. Lin Luoran is the only one left in Baojia's ward. The nurse opens the door carefully and sticks her head out with a thermos in her hand. It turns out that she has bought porridge for Lin Luoran. Is it porridge with mushrooms and lean meat? Lin Luoran opens the lid and smells the fragrance. She realizes that she is not a Superman. She hasn't eaten for 5 days and only relied on nutrient solution to survive. Now she feels hungry as soon as she smells food. After drinking the porridge, Lin Luoran looks at Baojia's sleeping face. She is so worried. Now that Baojia is safe, Lin Luoran doesn't know what to do. Thinking that she has been in a coma for 5 days, Lin Luoran pats her head and calls her parents. Mrs. Lin is not worried when she gets the call. She tells Lin Luoran to stay in the capital and keep Baojia's grandpa company if she has nothing to do. Lin Luoran knows that Commander Qin has called her parents when she was in a coma. Commander Qin doesn't dare to tell them the truth. He only tells them that Lin Luoran is occupied with some trifles and has no time to go home. He asks them not to worry about her. After chatting for a while, Mr. and Mrs. Lin not only don't know that Commander Qin is a general, but they also think that Commander Qin is a lonely old man who needs the company of the younger generation. That's why they ask Lin Luoran to stay in the capital for a while. Lin Luoran can't say it out loud. She says yes when Commander Qin has prepared an excuse for her. She won't go back until she sees Zhou Yaowei punished. Although Baojia is fine now, Lin Luoran can't forget the fact that Zhou Yaowei once tried to kill her. Lin Luoran can't forget Baojia lying on the operating table and dying. Everyone can do bad things, but others can't take revenge. This world is meaningless. Debts must be paid and murders must be paid. These are not just two familiar sayings. They belong to the original order of the world. Of course, there is also a saying that the weak are prey to the strong. Some people can fight back, while others are weak. They can only silently complain about the injustice of society. What about herself? Is she really the one who can control her own fate? Lin Luoran remembers the scene in her dream. She tried to draw the mysterious pattern, but the man in robes stared at her across time and space. Lin Luoran feels a tingling pain in her head every time she thinks of his dark eyes, which seem to have experienced the vicissitudes of life. Lin Luoran has no time to recall the lines of the mysterious rune. Her head hurts so much that it can't go on. It feels like thousands of needles are pricking her. Lin Luoran groans. She feels like she just got out of the water. In a short time, her body is soaked with sweat. Lin Luoran wipes the sweat on her forehead with difficulty and smiles bitterly. It is true that she is greedy. She wants to cling to the power that she can't control. Her spiritual mind is hurt just by recalling the look of the man in robe's eyes. However, is it really impossible to draw the pattern? Chapter 67. The towering palace wall is still there, but the dynasty has changed. The 8 alleys in the past can't compare to the street of nightclubs now. However, for some people who are not short of money, private clubs that are more intimate and upscale are the places where they can get drunk at night. For example, the Blue Bird Club is full of luxury cars. Cars worth millions of yuan are parked in front of the club. You will feel ashamed if you drive a Mercedes-Benz or a BMW. Ordinary people are afraid of being charged when they pass by this club. At 11:00 in the evening, the street lights of the imperial capital were bright, like a long winding dragon entrenched in the sky above the imperial capital of several generations. Most of the salaried people had long since prepared to go to bed to prepare for work the next morning, but for the nightclubs, it was just beginning to be extravagant. Outside the Blue Bird Club, as usual, some people have to take a detour. However, they can't stop the traffic of the playboys. It's 11:30 in the evening. A black Lincoln comes like a ghost. The driver skillfully stops the car. For some reason, the atmosphere in the car is a bit awkward. It's a strange silence. After a while, the taciturn driver frowns and says, "Are you sure you want to go?" Sitting in the back seat was a beauty wearing a long dress and silver eyeshadow that made people reluctant to look away. Hearing this, she smiles, "You all have concerns, but I'm different. As I said, if something happens to me, please take care of my parents for me." The driver wants to say something but stops on second thought. Finally, he hands a card to the beauty. It's the membership card of the Blue Bird Club. People will break their heads to buy it. However, the driver gives it to the beauty casually. Sure enough, the places where the rich come are different from ordinary people. The beauty flicks the card with her nails. Her expression is unspeakably arrogant, but also charming. The driver sees this expression from the rearview mirror. He feels a pain in his heart. He wants to say something, but the beauty puts away the card and opens the door. Like a graceful and beautiful red-crowned crane, she gets off the car and walks away. As soon as Lin Luoran gets out of the car, she attracts everyone's attention. Whether it was the docile doorman, the big-bellied boss who had just gotten out of the luxury car, or the young masters who had already turned around and thought that they were elegant, none of them could bear to move their eyes away. Lin Luoran, who is almost 1.7 meters tall, is wearing a pair of silver stilettos. Her long hair is wavy and she is wearing a nude dress made by a famous designer. She had a tall and slender figure, porcelain-like skin, delicate facial features, and a pair of spirited and deep eyes. Coupled with a thin layer of powder, she was elegant and charming, and had a mysterious and inviolable look. Many people were attracted to her, but they couldn't help but feel ashamed of their own inferiority, and didn't dare to go up and talk to her easily. Lin Luoran doesn't look at him and walks to the gate. The doorman looked at the Blue Bird membership card in her slender fingers, and his sneaky eyes disappeared, leaving only a respectful expression. Beauty was a woman's capital, and if she was beautiful and rich, she was even more out of the reach of the doorman who was paid by the doorman. The hall of the Blue Bird is low-key, but it is also meticulous. The details show their true colors. Lin Luoran is holding a membership card, and some things here can't be exposed to the public. Naturally, there is no need to register which card belongs to which person. After verifying the authenticity, a waiter comes up and asks politely, "I'm looking for Mr. Zhou." Lin Luoran is a female guest, and the waiter is a handsome young man. He is a little embarrassed when he hears that Lin Luoran is looking for Zhou Yaowei. However, he smiles happily and says, "How about I ask Mr. Zhou first? You are such a beautiful lady. Mr. Zhou should come to pick you up in person." Lin Luoran smiles, "I just want to give him a surprise. Won't you give me a chance?" Lin Luoran's arrogant look loosens, and a trace of shyness appears on her face, which makes people's imagination run wild. Only beautiful women can come to the club with the playboys. The waiters have seen a lot of beautiful women with delicate makeup. However, they have never seen a beauty like Lin Luoran when she smiles like a blooming flower. The waiter secretly exclaims that Zhou Yaowei is so lucky with women. Thinking that Zhou Yaowei is having so many women tonight, he gets jealous. He wants the beautiful woman in front of him, who talks like Zhou Yaowei's girlfriend, to catch her. There is an event on the second floor tonight. Many rich men will be there. Why don't you go and have a look? The waiter is still smiling, but he tries to change the topic. Lin Luoran comes back to her senses. She takes out a stack of notes, which seems to be worth thousands. She throws it to the waiter and takes the elevator to the second floor. Although Blue Bird Club is a combination of entertainment, leisure and fitness, a place where Zhou Yaowei lives will not be a boring gym. Of course, the second floor is a nightclub. The Blue Bird was not a common disco bar where anyone could come in. The membership card kept some white-collar workers and even gold-collar workers out forever. Therefore, the second floor was destined to not have many people, but it was unexpectedly very lively. The elegant blues music flowed in the hall, and the lights twinkled. All the men present were dressed in formal wear, and most of the women wore small dresses and jewelry. At first glance, one would think that this was a cocktail party of the upper class, not a clubhouse's entertainment venue. As soon as Lin Luoran steps into the door, a sharp-eyed lighting technician lights up a column of light. Under the strong light, Lin Luoran, in a long dress, looks like a proud goddess in Greek mythology. Her dark eyes are so bright that people can't take their eyes off her. Bathed in the light, Lin Luoran looks like a white lotus in the nightclub, beautiful but not seductive, swaying gracefully. The lighting technician stops here. The column of light only stays for a while and then it leaves, leaving a lot of pity. Feeling those evasive but naked eyes, Lin Luoran sneers. As expected, no matter how luxurious the package is, it can't hide the men and women behind the light. Raising her eyebrows, Lin Luoran chooses an inconspicuous seat in the corner and sits down. On the other side of the hall, there is a semi-open private room. There are more than a dozen men and women sitting there. As soon as Lin Luoran enters the room, they have been talking about her. "Brother Zhou, such a beautiful girl. Who else can she be but you?" The man who spoke was in his early 20s. His father was the boss of a fairly large company. Usually, he was considered a young master in his own circle. However, in tonight's circle, he was just a henchman who had just registered his name. Zhou Yaowei just got out of the whirlpool. He is proud of himself, and his female companion is also very beautiful. However, when Lin Luoran comes in, he feels that this young model, who is a little famous, is tacky. Her facial features are naturally exquisite under the scalpel, but now she seems to lack temperament. Chapter 68. This time, it is the son of a deputy director in the capital. His father has real power, but he works for the Zhou family. Naturally, he is very respectful to the only son of the Zhou family. Zhou Yaowei smiles with a glass of wine in his hand. "You are so stupid. How can you be rude to a beauty? Brother Wen, what do you think of this beauty? Does she look good to you?" Zhou Yaowei is tempted by the compliments of his entourage, but he is not impulsive enough to ask the man next to him. The man called Brother Wen has been sitting in the corner of the sofa without saying a word. However, he has never left Zhou Yaowei's side. His entourage thought that Zhou Yaowei's family sent him a bodyguard because he offended the Qin family. However, it seems that Zhou Yaowei respects him very much. Everyone was secretly surprised. After thinking for a while, they couldn't think of anyone with the surname Wen in the capital. After thinking for a long time, they couldn't think of anyone with the surname Wen in it. Brother Wen has no idea what these people are thinking. However, he is not interested in the beauty. He doesn't even raise his head and says lightly, "Don't make trouble before the middle of the month. Otherwise, I won't be able to explain it to you." Zhou Yaowei is a playboy. He laughs at Lin's words and changes the topic. He winks at the henchman whose family runs a company, and the henchman goes to Lin's table with a glass of wine. All the people at Zhou Yaowei's table are watching the fun. Zhou Yaowei's girlfriend is especially dissatisfied. However, when the guy walks over, he smiles at the beauty as if he can get her easily. Everyone is filled with regret and disappointment. However, as soon as she smiles, a glass full of wine is thrown at the henchman's face. Mr. Yu's smile freezes on his face. If he didn't come here to test Zhou Yaowei, he would have thrown away his shitty demeanor of not fighting with women. Zhou Yaowei's people all laugh, saying that this is a wild horse. Mr. Yu comes back with a dirty face. Zhou Yaowei pats him on the shoulder without asking why the wine was thrown at him. It's hard to accept a beauty's kindness. Yu is so lucky. Everyone laughs. Mr. Yu wipes the wine off his face. Hearing Zhou Yaowei's words, he thinks of Lin Luoran's stunning smile. "Brother Zhou, looks like we still need you to step in." That's right, that's right. Only beauties with a fiery temperament are attractive. All the playboys start to flatter Zhou Yaowei. Zhou Yaowei's female companion says sourly, "Lord Zhou, this woman is so rude. It's not easy to deal with her." Zhou Yaowei pinches her face, "Are you jealous? I just like your sour look." Although he says so, he doesn't care about the feelings of these women. He takes a glass of wine and goes to Lin's table. Under the light, Lin Luoran's profile is stunningly beautiful. Her deep eyes seem to suck people's souls little by little. Figure, temperament, appearance. Zhou Yaowei gives full marks to the beauty in front of him in his heart. However, he also feels strange that such an outstanding beauty should have heard about her in the social circle of the capital. "This beautiful lady, my companion was rude just now. I apologize on his behalf." Lin Luoran says with a faint smile, "You are funny. Do you need to apologize for someone else's mistake?" Zhou Yaowei didn't expect that Lin Luoran would give him a tip so easily. He pretends to be a British ruffian and shrugs. "Actually, it's all excuses. I have to find an excuse to approach a beautiful lady like you, right?" Lin Luoran rolls her eyes. Zhou Yaowei is obviously a playboy. Mrs. Zhou had the nerve to say that Zhou Yaowei was obsessed with Baojia that day in the hospital. Zhou Yaowei must have pestered Baojia and felt that he had lost face as a playboy. That's why he did that. Somehow, Lin Luoran feels that Zhou Yaowei has a faint smell of blood, which makes her instinctively feel repulsed. In the blink of an eye, the feeling disappears like an illusion. Thinking of the master in Zhou Yaowei's group, Lin Luoran decides to stay put. She sneers, "Since I don't show respect to him, why should I show respect to you?" Zhou Yaowei doesn't expect that Lin Luoran will change her attitude so quickly. He smiles awkwardly. Lin Luoran laughs again, "I was in a bad mood just now and spilled wine on your friend. I'll go with you to apologize." Lin Luoran ignores Zhou Yaowei's expression and stands up. Seeing Lin Luoran's flirtatious expression, Zhou Yaowei feels that 10 cats are scratching him at the same time. He grits his teeth and can't help but yearn for her. Seeing that Zhou Yaowei comes back with the arrogant beauty, everyone applauds. No matter how reluctant Zhou Yaowei's female companion is, she has to give up her seat to Lin Luoran. She bitterly drinks on the side. "Beauty, you just spilled wine on me. You should tell us your name, right? Seeing that Lin Luoran is apologizing by raising her glass, Mr. Yu is more or less unwilling. Lin Luoran narrows her eyes. My surname is Qin. As for my name, I can't tell you for now. Hearing that her surname is Qin, everyone's face changes. They gather here today to celebrate that Zhou Yaowei is fine after bumping into Qin Baojia. Zhou Yaowei is still smiling, but there is a hint of danger in his eyes. Even Brother Wen, who has been sitting quietly in the corner, looks at her alertly when he hears that her surname is Qin. He finds that Lin Luoran's hands have no scars or calluses and her bare arms are as smooth as jade. She doesn't look like a person who has been practicing martial arts or holding a gun for a long time. Brother Wen lowers his head again. Lin Luoran picks up her glass and says angrily, "What? Is there anything wrong with my surname?" Zhou Yaowei remains calm, "Of course not. Miss Qin, don't overthink. By the way, why is there no news about a beautiful lady like you in the social circle of the capital? It seems that those who have met you are hiding it." Of course, Lin Luoran knows that he is testing her. She says half-truthfully, "I just came from our city. How could there be news about me? It is said that our city is Commander Qin's territory." However, apart from Qin Baojia, Lin Luoran has never heard that there is such a beautiful lady in the Qin family. Is it really a coincidence? The son of the deputy director was surnamed Zheng. Seeing that the atmosphere was awkward, he came out to smooth things over. "Brother Zhou, isn't this fate that fell from the sky? That Miss Qin couldn't make it, but now she has a peerless Miss Qin. She is much more beautiful than Qin Pao's granddaughter who is as proud as a rooster." Zhou Yaowei sneers in his mind. So what if she is sent by the Qin family? He looked at Brother Wen who was sitting in the corner and made up his mind. Such a beautiful woman was a great tonic that was hard to come by in 100 years. Why should he expose her and scare away this beautiful woman who seemed to have ulterior motives? Zhou Yaowei is tempted. His body exudes the air that makes Lin Luoran extremely uncomfortable and disgusted. Brother Wen raises his head and gives Zhou Yaowei a warning look. Chapter 69. Walking out of the back door of the Blue Bird Club was a dark alley. The whole alley was dark, and there was only a dim street lamp. In the middle of the night, there were few people. As soon as Lin Luoran follows Zhou Yaowei out of the back door, Brother Wen stops her and says such words. Seeing that Lin Luoran doesn't respond to his warning, Brother Wen suddenly smiles, "Nobody will stop you if you want to die. I'm just saying." Seeing that Zhou Yaowei is looking at her unscrupulously under the street lamp, Lin Luoran sneers, "Even if I let him go, he won't let me go. The special department is so arrogant." Zhou Yaowei laughs, "You are indeed sent by the Qin family. Why? I heard that Qin Baojia is still alive." He looks at Lin Luoran with evil eyes and says with pity, "What a pity. You are the most beautiful person I have ever seen. It's a pity that your surname is Qin." Brother Wen seems to understand Zhou Yaowei's unspoken words. He stares at Zhou Yaowei, "The department bailed you out of the car accident, but it doesn't mean that they won't hold you accountable." Zhou Yaowei's arrogance lowers a little. It seems that he is extremely afraid of Brother Wen. Brother Wen turns to Lin Luoran and says, "You can't imagine the power of some people. He dares not to hurt you with me here. You should leave." Lin Luoran narrows her eyes, "You are protecting such a murderer. Now you are trying to be a good person. It is not him who hurts me, but me who hurts him." Lin Luoran has an idea. She takes out a custom-made whip from her space and holds it in her hand. "What?" Brother Wen is also surprised. He can see where Lin Luoran takes out the whip. It seems to appear in her hand all of a sudden. Lin Luoran shakes the whip and whips it at Zhou Yaowei with a whistling sound. Brother Wen's pupil shrinks. He grabs Zhou Yaowei and pulls him aside. The whip hits on the lamppost, making a loud bang sound. The whip's tail is still powerful. It flips up and grabs the monitor under the street lamp. Lin Luoran pulls back her strength and the monitor is torn into pieces. Zhou Yaowei sees the whip marks on the lamppost and the broken monitors on the ground. He says to Brother Wen in shock, "Brother Wen, she even destroyed the monitors. She wants me dead. We can't let her go." Holding the whip, Lin Luoran stands still. The hatred in her clear eyes is stronger than ever. Yes, she has never hated anyone so much. Family and friends are the bottom line of Lin Luoran. She will explode if she steps on them. They are her reverse scales. Brother Wen looks at the murderous Lin Luoran and sighs. Finally, he lets go of Zhou Yaowei. Brother Wen's attitude means that he allows Zhou Yaowei to fight back. Zhou Yaowei smiles wickedly. Lin Luoran feels uncomfortable again. She steps back out of instinct. No, it was not an aura. This time, it was a pink mist visible to the naked eye. It seems that Brother Wen is also afraid of the pink mist on Zhou Yaowei. He keeps a distance from Zhou Yaowei and Lin Luoran as soon as the pink mist comes out. What's more, when Zhou Yaowei produces the pink mist, Lin feels a slight fluctuation of Reiki around him. She suddenly realizes that Brother Wen, who has been quiet all this time, is protecting Zhou Yaowei because of this. Lin thinks. Lin Luoran is not stupid. She has seen a lot in TV shows and novels. None of the colored mist is good. Lin Luoran controls her body and steps back for more than 3 meters. She whips at Zhou Yaowei. The raging wind whistled and dispersed the pink mist. Brother Wen frowned and retreated again and again. Zhou Yaowei laughs, "If this is all you can do, you can stay here tonight." The scattered pink mist comes back quickly. This time, it is not a chaotic mass. It turns into a long snake and pounces at Lin Luoran. The snake doesn't get blown away by the wind at such a high speed. Instead, it comes to Lin Luoran in a second with the speed of lightning, which is impossible for mist to have. This is beyond Lin Luoran's expectation. No matter how fast she retreats, she still gets some of the poison. Smelling the sweet aroma, Lin Luoran feels dizzy and her hands go limp. Her face flushes abnormally and she breathes heavily. Zhou Yaowei and Zhou Yaowei become 2 people in front of her. What is this poisonous fog? Why is it so powerful? Lin Luoran staggers and can't stand straight. Her long whip hangs on the ground. She feels restless. Zhou Yaowei knows that the poisonous mist is acting up. He walks to her with a grim smile, "Little beauty, do you regret it now?" Lin Luoran is in a daze. The bead has done a lot to save Baojia a few days ago and now it is weak. Sensing Lin Luoran's abnormality, the bead shoots a stream of Reiki into Lin Luoran's face. A clear stream flows through Lin Luoran's body. The unnatural redness in her eyes disappears and her breath returns to normal. The soreness all over her body is gone. Looking at Zhou Yaowei who is standing 3 steps away from her and observing her, Lin Luoran's knees bend and she almost falls to the ground. Zhou Yaowei laughs even more wildly. Brother Wen looks at Lin Luoran from a distance and frowns. Just before Lin Luoran falls down, he seems to feel a very weak fluctuation of Reiki. Brother Wen is alert and is about to warn Lin Luoran, who is half lying on the ground, suddenly swings her long whip. The whip filled with Reiki is shining with blue light. Zhou Yaowei is at the peak of his life. The pink mist can hurt people but it cannot protect them. Zhou Yaowei is whipped away for almost 20 feet. Zhou Yaowei's whole body hits the wall and the cement wall is peeled off. When Zhou Yaowei falls down, he looks like a pile of rotten meat. Even if he is not dead, he will definitely suffer from internal injuries and multiple fractures. Brother Wen's face is very serious when Lin Luoran throws the whip. He is smart enough to know that it will be too late to save people's lives, so he stands still in place to save some energy to fight against the enemy. Seeing that Lin Luoran straightens up after whipping Zhou Yaowei away, Brother Wen squints, "You are a cultivator." Brother Wen is not as shocked as he looks. Cultivators can sense each other due to the fluctuation of Reiki. There are only two exceptions. One is that the cultivator has a much higher level of cultivation than the cultivator, so the cultivator can hide his or her breath perfectly. The other is that the cultivator has a treasure that can hide his or her breath. This is not the age of legends where masters are everywhere. Brother Wen, who has learned a lot from his family, knows that the woman in front of him either has a high level of cultivation or comes from a powerful family or school. Only people from such a powerful family will receive treasures from their elders. It is not easy for Brother Wen to deal with either of these two situations. Lin Luoran shakes her long whip in the air and smiles coldly. Chapter 70. Lin Luoran has never leaked her Reiki, but this woman who claims to be surnamed Qin has already noticed it. Brother Wen is alarmed and raises his hand to make a complicated ancient salute. I'm Wen Guanjing, the 53rd descendant of the Wen family of Zhu Mountain. May I call you Immortal hometown? Wen Guanjing suddenly speaks in a genteel way, makes a seemingly ancient salute, and claims to be the 53rd descendant of the Wen family of Zhu Mountain. Lin Luoran feels that this is a big deal. Everyone in Lin Luoran's generation is familiar with the word Zhu Mountain. Countless people are fascinated by the bizarre world of swordsmen in Zhu Mountain written by the owner of Huanzhu Tower. However, even after the Three Gorges Dam blocked the water and most of the famous peaks of Zhu Mountain are submerged in the water, people still haven't seen any sword light soaring into the sky. Only then does people's desire for the title of Immortal of Swords lessen. However, the man in front of Lin Luoran tells her that he is the 53rd descendant of the Wen family of Zhu Mountain. Isn't this the clue that Lin Luoran has been looking for? However, such exciting news becomes boring after being labeled as colluding with Zhou Yaowei. Besides, Wen Guanjing seems to have less Reiki than Lin Luoran. Lin Luoran is a bit disappointed. If this is the famous Immortal of Zhu Mountain, it will be beyond her expectation. However, Lin Luoran, the idiot cultivator, doesn't know that Wen Guanjing is actually asking her about her master. The world of cultivation in the state of Huaxia has been declining for a long time. Everyone knows which forces are still there. Wen Guanjing is also afraid that Mississippi Qin is an old friend of the Wen family. If her master comes to him and accuses him of bullying his school sister, he won't be able to explain himself. Lin Luoran doesn't know Wen Guanjing's intention. She is also afraid that if she says too much, people will see that she is just a rookie individual cultivator. She swings her whip and says, "Since you even cover up for a murderer, why are you talking nonsense now? That's ridiculous." Brother Wen has seen the power of her whip. Zhou Yaowei is still lying on the ground and nobody knows whether he is still alive or not. He doesn't stop until he steps out of the range of the whip. Lin Luoran catches up with Wen Guanjing again. Wen Guanjing is just dodging and it seems that he is not going to fight back. However, Lin Luoran can see that his right fingertips are changing rhythmically. He seems to be making some gestures. Lin Luoran's deep understanding of the Immortal of Swords in Zhu Mountain makes her anxious. She wonders if Wen Guanjing is going to make such a gesture. Lin Luoran is anxious. The whip in her hand is made by Commander Qin. It is the only one among all the materials that she can pour Reiki into. Others may not know, but Lin Luoran knows exactly how much Reiki she has in her stomach. If she doesn't end the battle quickly, Wen Guanjing will summon the flying sword to help her, and she may not be able to see her parents again. The whip is like a dancing snake. After Reiki is poured into it, the whip shines blue. Lin Luoran interrupts Wen Guanjing's gestures several times. Wen Guanjing can't bear the fact that his spell casting is interrupted every time. He takes out a piece of yellow paper from his clothes, murmurs something and throws it to Lin Luoran. The yellow paper flies to Lin Luoran. The light paper flies to Lin Luoran with the sound of wind. Lin Luoran instinctively senses the danger. She moves her head aside and the yellow paper flies past her hair. It sticks to the lamppost and burns without any fire. Lin Luoran calms herself down. She is thinking that the yellow paper is nothing special even though it looks weird. However, the yellow paper burns out in an instant. Then a lightning bolt as thick as a little finger strikes down from the sky, striking the lamppost and leaving only the bottom of the lamppost buried in the ground. The sky is clear tonight. Even if there is a drought, how can the lightning strike on the lamppost so coincidentally? Lin Luoran can only direct Reiki into her body. This is a real spell. Lin Luoran is sweating. If she doesn't dodge the lightning bolt, she will be the one who is struck down, not the lamppost. Wen Guanjing is not disappointed that Lin Luoran dodges the lightning bolt. Instead, he says seriously, "Miss Qin, cultivation is not easy. Do you really want to fight me to the death?" While saying this, he finishes making a gesture with his right hand while Lin Luoran is dodging the yellow paper. His right hand is shrouded in a layer of dim light. Obviously, he is ready to attack. Lin Luoran sneers, "Cultivation is not easy. If so, why are you helping this bastard? I have no grudge against you. Now you are trying to stop me." Wen Guanjing raises his right hand slightly. Hearing Lin Luoran's accusation, he frowns and says nothing. After a while, he says, "I don't care about your grudge. My department has ordered that Zhou Yaowei cannot die. I can't watch him die tonight. At least he can't die before the middle of the month." When Guanjing adds in his heart, he bumped into Miss Qin. "She's fine now, and you've hurt him badly. Why do you have to force me to help you? Not dead." It turns out that what Baojia has suffered is just a trivial matter in these people's eyes. Can the word, "not dead," make up for Baojia's intracranial hemorrhage, broken internal organs and multiple fractures? It would be fine if Wen Guanjing didn't mention Baojia. Now that he mentions her, Lin Luoran remembers the day when Baojia was lying on the operating table covered in blood. Zhou Yaowei is protected by the so-called special department. Is it because Baojia is immortal that her life is despised by cultivators like Wen Guanjing? If this is the Tao of nature, then one day I will be trampled on by everyone. I will never believe that the lives of my friends and family can be explained away by a simple sentence. Anger flashes in Lin Luoran's eyes. She doesn't want to listen to Wen Guanjing stalling anymore. She swings her whip at him. Yes. Lin Luoran doesn't know any spells or magic weapons, but she has a higher level of cultivation than Wen Guanjing. If this is the Tao of nature, then let's see who can outlast the other. Lin Luoran's whip is dancing like a snake. The strong wind even causes a small whirlpool of air. Wen Guanjing's whip is so powerful that he will be broken into pieces even if he is made of cement. Wen Guanjing sees that Lin Luoran doesn't stop but speeds up her attack. Even a calm person can't help but get angry. The thought that Lin Luoran might be his school sister is driven out of his mind. He shouts at once, "The spell is over. Go!" The light on Wen Guanjing's right hand turns and the restless fire Reiki from all directions gather. A moment later, a fireball as big as a bowl appears on Wen Guanjing's fingertip. The moment it takes shape, the fireball flies at Lin Luoran like a bullet. Chapter 71. Lin Luoran swings her whip on the ground but fails to put out the fire. Seeing that the fire is spreading, she gives up the whip and throws it on the ground. The metal whip crackles like firewood, but Lin Luoran doesn't even look at it. Instead, she rushes to Wen Guanjing. Wen Guanjing is making another spell when Lin Luoran is trying to put out the fire. Lin Luoran has no weapon to block the strange fireball for her. She can't let Wen Guanjing cast spells again. After the fight with Mu Tiannan in the embroidery tower, Lin Luoran is quite confident about the martial arts taught by Master Jia. She raises her palm and slashes at Wen Guanjing. Wen Guanjing feels the fierce wind and naturally has no time to cast the fireball spell. Instead, he pulls back his hand and a white silk suddenly jumps up. Lin Luoran looks at the cold light and reluctantly withdraws her palm to dodge. Even so, a strand of her long hair on her forehead is cut off by the cold light and falls in the air. Wen Guanjing is standing there with the white silk in his hand. Lin Luoran looks at it and finds that it is a soft sword shining with cold light. The soft sword looks light and not as powerful as a heavy weapon. However, Wen Guanjing must be a real master to be able to use such a flexible weapon to attack accurately. As a cultivator, Wen Guanjing's personal ability may not be as profound as Lin Luoran's. However, in terms of a cultivator's fighting method, Wen Guanjing has been practicing systematically. Lin Luoran is no match for him in terms of knowledge and spells. However, after Lin Luoran chooses close combat, she finds that Wen Guanjing is a master of martial arts. Lin Luoran is sure to lose tonight. Wen Guanjing doesn't know why Lin Luoran chooses to use Reiki instead of spells. However, he is from the Zhu Mountain School. Seeing that Lin Luoran is empty-handed and he is holding a sword, Wen Guanjing decides not to be a villain. After cutting off a strand of Lin Luoran's hair, he doesn't continue to attack. Lin Luoran stands still and looks at Zhou Yaowei, who is dying on the ground. She can't decide whether she should fight with Wen Guanjing or not. She is not afraid of getting hurt or bleeding. She is afraid that if she dies here, she will not be able to avenge Baojia even if she and Wen Guanjing are both injured. It seems that you haven't done your best. How about we stop here? Wen Guanjing says when he sees Lin's expression changing. It's not that Wen Guanjing is a kind and pedantic person. Lin Luoran's cultivation is higher than his and Zhou Yaowei is seriously injured. The operation of the department in half a month is imperative. Now that Zhou Yaowei is gone, it's a good thing that he can get back a bigger one. Lin Luoran doesn't know what Wen Guanjing's plan is. She only feels that Wen Guanjing's attitude is so weird. One moment, he wants to fight with her, and the next moment, he doesn't want to kill her. Now, he wants to make peace. Though Wen Guanjing says so, he doesn't loosen his grip on the sword. Lin Luoran is not sure whether he is pretending to negotiate or he really has other plans. The atmosphere between the two of them changed from a battle to a standoff. For a moment, it was somewhat strange. Lin Luoran is struggling in her mind. She doesn't know whether she should fight with him or wait for another day to take revenge. Suddenly, a man comes out of the alley. Since Lin Luoran's body was changed, her eyesight has been very good. She doesn't know whether this is a common benefit for cultivators. Anyway, she can distinguish things in the dark. With a glance, she sees the man clearly. To her surprise, it is Mu Tiannan, who was slapped by her not long ago. Lin Luoran secretly feels that she is unlucky. The new enemy is not gone, but the old one is coming. If Mu Tiannan and Wen Guanjing reach a consensus, one will drag her back and the other will attack her directly. It will be really troublesome. It's you. Mu Tiannan seems to recognize Lin Luoran after taking 2 steps closer. He points at her and shouts. Lin Luoran has an absurd illusion. Why does she feel that foppish Mu's tone is more happy than hateful? Is he a masochist? That slap just tickled foppish Mu, so he doesn't hate her. Lin Luoran is disgusted by her own speculation. The next moment, she frowns. After recognizing Lin Luoran, Mu Tiannan doesn't do anything to her. Instead, he runs to Wen Guanjing, grabs his sleeve and calls him Brother Wen. His voice makes Lin Luoran feel goosebumps all over her body. However, Wen Guanjing doesn't feel disgusted at all. Instead, he smiles and asks, Nanzi, when did you come back to the capital? Is this still the serious Wen Guanjing with high combat value? Lin Luoran suddenly thinks of the word seduction. She can't bear to see their affection, so she makes up her mind to leave. Glancing at Zhou Yaowei on the ground, Lin Luoran holds back the urge to whip him again. While Mu Tiannan and Wen Guanjing are talking about the old days, Lin Luoran jumps up and leaves the dark alley. Mu Tiannan is shocked. What should we do? She got away. Wen Guanjing is no longer enthusiastic. He takes back his hand from Mu Tiannan's and says coldly, all right, stop acting. You grabbed my hand as soon as you came here. If you don't want to let her go, what do you want? Mu Tiannan smiles meaningfully. I can only succeed if you cooperate with me. Brother Wen, are you reluctant to hurt her because you like her? When Guanjing slashes at Mu Tiannan with his soft sword, do you think everyone is like you? I keep her because I want to take her to the ministry. If you don't give me a reasonable explanation today, I'll sue your grandpa. Mu Tiannan dodges the sword with a smile. He doesn't care at all, I know her situation. If you want to take her to the ministry, you have to please me. Besides, you have to take her to the ministry when they are fighting each other. No wonder you have never succeeded. Haha. When Guanjing looks at him suspiciously, are you serious? Do you know her background? He automatically ignores Mu Tiannan's mockery that he has never succeeded. Mu Tiannan nods, I'll tell you if you give me the small sword. When Guanjing kicks Mu Tiannan away, you are not a cultivator. What can you do with it? Don't waste good things. Lin Luoran rushes out of the alley. She turns around several times to make sure that no one is chasing her. Then she is ready to go back. She has just fixed her hair when the black Lincoln stops in front of her. It seems that the Lincoln has been here for a long time. The window of the car rolls down and Lu Zheng's gentle face shows up. Get in. Lu Zheng opens the door for the passenger seat. Lin Luoran opens the rear compartment and gets in. Tonight, Lin Luoran goes to the Blue Bird Club to find Zhou Yawei, to deal with other people, and even to the fierce fight in the dark alley are very different from Lin Luoran's usual temperament. She not only consumes her Reiki and energy, but also her mind. Lin Luoran is sitting in the back seat with her eyes closed. She notices that Lu Zheng is secretly looking at her in the rearview mirror. She opens her eyes and says, Zhou Yawei is seriously injured. Aren't you afraid that the Zhou family will trace it back to the Lu family? Chapter 72. Come to think of it, Lu Zheng knows that Zhou Yawei has been pestering Baojia since she came back to the capital. However, he doesn't love Baojia. Therefore, he accepts his family's order and chooses to wait and see. He is selfish. He has a faint hope that Baojia will fall in love with someone else, and then, Lu Zheng felt bitter when he thought about it now. If he knew that Baojia would be in trouble, he would come to the capital to stop Zhou Yawei from pestering her no matter whether he loves her or not. Even if Baojia is not his lover, she is his childhood sweetheart. Lu Zheng secretly looks at Lin Luoran who is sitting in the back seat. Her dress is stained and her hair is messy. She said that Zhou Yawei was seriously injured. Lu Zheng can imagine what a thrilling fight it must have been. She talked about it so casually. Only if, she is not a mysterious Taoist, he will definitely go with her to find Zhou Yawei. He is not afraid of death, but he is afraid that he will fall deeper and deeper into it when he knows that there will be no result. Commander Qin must have seen through his mind. That's why they talked to each other that night. Commander Qin's eyes are shining. Is it because Lin Luoran said, Taoists will never unite with mortals by marriage, that makes him give up? Or is it because of her cold attitude on the plane that makes him feel that he has never been worthy of her? Luoran, I heard that Taoists can't unite with mortals by marriage, right? No matter how he thought about it, Lu Zheng still felt unreconciled. He didn't want to think back many years later and regret that he had never fought for his love. What? Lin Luoran is so tired that she just wants to sleep. She doesn't understand Lu Zheng's words, so she can't help but ask. However, her tone is very weak because of her lack of energy. Lu Zheng thinks that she is giving him a positive answer. His hands on the steering wheel tremble. The shadow cast by his gold-rimmed glasses can barely cover the disappointment in his eyes. Sure enough, it is his own greed. Lin Luoran takes a while to understand what Lu Zheng is saying. She opens her eyes slightly. Where did you hear that Taoists will never unite with mortals by marriage? Come on, Immortal. After seeing what Wen Guanjing did tonight, Lin Luoran feels that she is the mortal. Commander Qin is right. Taoist schools don't marry mortals. Most of the offspring will lose their Taoist root and can no longer cultivate. Therefore, Taoist schools strictly forbid their disciples to marry mortals. Isn't it the same in your school? Lu Zheng's tone seems calm. but in fact, he is hopeful. Right, maybe Lin's school doesn't care about this. The Taoist route? Although Lin Luoran squints her eyes, she is shocked. It turns out that cultivation requires not only Reiki and cultivation methods, but also Taoist route. Her elderly parents. Her initial fantasy of walking down the path of her family together, could it really come true? Lin Luoran feels as if she has been struck by lightning. She feels that the life she has been dreaming about is suddenly changed, which makes her very uneasy. She doesn't notice the hope in Lu Zheng's tone at all. Commander Qin, that's all. What is the Taoist route? Lin Luoran wants to know immediately. She asks Lu Zheng, hoping that Commander Qin has said more. After the fierce battle tonight, Lin Luoran has learned from Wen Guanjing that there is a family of cultivators like the Wen family in the state of Huaxia. Therefore, Lin Luoran is more cautious in her words. She doesn't want others to know that she has embarked on the path of cultivation alone. She wants to avoid getting into trouble because of her wealth and putting herself and her family in danger. Lu Zheng doesn't focus on this at all. Hearing that Lin Luoran doesn't refute, his heart gradually sinks. He thinks that Lin Luoran has acquiesced. Hearing Lin Luoran's question, he shakes his head and doesn't say a word. The atmosphere between the two becomes silent again. Lu Zheng sends Lin Luoran to the residence of the Qin family in the capital. When he turns around to leave, his steps are somewhat unsteady. Lin Luoran is thinking about asking Commander Qin about the Taoist route, so she doesn't notice Lu Zheng's abnormality. It is Lu Sanchun who opens the door. Seeing that Lin Luoran comes back safely, he looks happy. Miss Lin, it's great that you are safe. Commander Qin has been worried about you all night. What he doesn't say is that after knowing Lin Luoran's whereabouts, they also admire her and worry about her. Commander Qin comes downstairs. I told you not to act rashly. How could you leave a letter? Lu Sanchun and the others are useless. They didn't even notice when you were gone. Lin Luoran blushes. She knows that leaving a letter is lame. However, when she hears the news brought back by Commander Qin, she is so angry that her eyes turn red. Commander Qin goes to the Military Intelligence Department in person to ask for an explanation. However, he is told that it is a national secret. If that is the case, it will be fine. However, when he goes to the branch office, he finds that the video of Zhou Yaowei hitting Baojia has been deleted by the special department. The deletion of the video means that there is no misunderstanding. The special department doesn't want to protect Zhou Yaowei on a whim. They even destroy the evidence. Clearly, they want to help Zhou Yaowei escape the punishment of the law. Lin Luoran doesn't know how many people are involved in this, nor does she want to know who will stand out to comfort Commander Qin, the old general who has made great contributions to the founding of the state of Huaxia. Lin Luoran doesn't want to listen to those high-sounding reasons. She is just a little girl who knows the difference between people who are close to her and those who are not close to her. She only knows that Baojia's blood cannot be equated with interests such as money or power. Grandpa Qin, I made the decision on my own. Please don't blame Officer Lu and the others. Lin Luoran knows that Commander Qin is worried about her instead of blaming Lu Sanchun and the others. Lin Luoran hurries to hold Commander Qin's hand. After Lu Sanchun is sent out to guard the door, Commander Qin says in a low voice, "Why are you so stupid? Even if you are from the Taoist school, you should know that the special department of the state of Huaxia is beyond the control of the military and political system. You didn't suffer any losses tonight, did you?" Lin Luoran is embarrassed. She is a rookie in cultivation. Taoist school is a general term for cultivators, not a specific school. That day, Lin Luoran made up a lie. She didn't say that she belongs to a certain school, which can be easily exposed. Instead, she said a Taoist school in general, which is really confusing. However, now she messes with the special department. She will have to bear the title of a mysterious school forever. Thinking of this, Lin Luoran doesn't explain to Commander Qin that she doesn't know the power of the special department. Instead, She lowers her voice and says, Zhou Yao was protected by cultivators, so he didn't die. However, he is seriously injured. If he doesn't receive effective treatment, he will suffer the pain that Baojia suffered that day. Hearing the name of Zhou Yao, Commander Qin's eyes flash with murderous intent. Luoran, I really don't know how to pay you back. Lin Luoran bursts into laughter. Baojia is my sister. She calls you Grandpa Qin. How can you treat me like an outsider? Commander Qin can only say, good girl. He really doesn't know how to answer. They go upstairs together. Baojia is still in a coma, but her body is fine. Besides, she almost died and woke up miraculously. Staying in the General Military Medical Hospital is too eye-catching. Therefore, Lin Luoran handles the discharge procedures and lets her come back to recuperate. Lin Luoran checks Baojia's condition again. There is nothing wrong with her. Seeing that there is no one around, she asks the question in her mind. Chapter 73. He doesn't even tell Baojia about some old stories. However, Lin Luoran is a cultivator, so he doesn't have to worry about it. Luoran, are you blaming me for being a busybody and talking about the Taoist route to Lu's boy? Lin Luoran shakes her head. I haven't been cultivating for a long time. My masters have never mentioned this to me. I'm curious, so I asked you. This is the villa of Qin's family, so Commander Qin doesn't worry about others eavesdropping. He sits down in Baojia's room and starts to tell Lin the old stories of the Qin family. Actually, my grandmother, Baojia's great-grandmother, is from the Taoist school just like you. Commander Qin's first sentence startles Lin Luoran. Does this mean that Baojia also has the blood of a cultivator? Don't be surprised. I didn't know this until I joined the army. I met my grandmother when I was a child. In my memory, she was very beautiful. She was not much older than my mother. My grandfather was a scholar at the end of the Qing dynasty, and his family was only moderately well off. Later on, I heard that my grandmother married into the family, and her dowry was a huge luminous pearl. With this luminous pearl, the Qin family became rich, and should have been more prosperous. Grandfather suddenly became rich, and inevitably looked down on his wife, who did not have a family to rely on. Unable to resist the persuasion of the old lady, he took in 2 beautiful concubines. After all, it is not a good thing. Commander Qin feels a little embarrassed when talking about his grandfather. Lin Luoran is considerate and doesn't ask more, although she is also confused. It is understandable for a cultivator to marry a Shiozai. If they can live happily ever after, it is reasonable for them to give up cultivation. However, if her husband and her have 2 beautiful concubines, Lin Luoran is shocked. If it were her, she might regret giving up the Tao of nature. Maybe she will do something extreme. What happened later? As far as I can remember, the Qin family has been declining. At that time, the state of Huaxia was in a stalemate with the Neon. The Qin family used to be a prominent family in the center of Chuan province. However, it suddenly became so poor that my father couldn't stand it, so he secretly joined the army. Later, my father told me that on the night he sneaked out, my grandmother seemed to know that he would leave. She waited for him at the back door but didn't stop him. She even encouraged him by saying that a good man should serve his country. She gave him a jade pendant and told him to keep it with him. Jade plate. Lin Luoran keenly grasps the key point. This must be the protection that Commander Qin's grandmother, a cultivator, gives to her son. Then Commander Qin's father joined the army. What does a rich young master know? He was almost killed by shrapnel on the battlefield several times. Every time, the jade pendant on his neck would glow, and the shrapnel seemed to deviate from its course. The shrapnel almost brushed past him. Commander Qin's father was shocked. Commander Qin's father is suddenly enlightened. With the help of his treasures, he makes several great contributions and is promoted several times in just a few years. In a field battle during the 3 major battles, a bullet flies at him so close that he can't avoid it. The bullet hits him, but it doesn't go into his flesh. The jade pendant bursts out dazzling light. Even the enemy is shocked by this strange light and gives up without fighting. Commander Qin's father has made a great contribution again. However, the jade plate seems to be exhausted and breaks into several pieces. Commander Qin's father feels sorry, but he can't do anything about the broken pieces. He can only put them away carefully. Who would have thought that after half a month, one night, a crazy old Taoist would suddenly break into Commander Qin's father's camp? At that time, Commander Qin's father was already in a high position and there were soldiers stationed at his place. No one knows how the old Taoist shows up. The crazy Taoist lifts Commander Qin's father up from the bed and asks him where the jade plate is. Commander Qin's father is alerted when he hears about the jade plate. The jade plate given by his mother is special. How does this crazy and slovenly Taoist know that he has a jade plate? Commander Qin's father is about to move, but he finds that his hands and feet are numb and he can't exert any strength. After a while, the crazy Taoist finds the jade plate. Looking at the broken jade plate, the crazy Taoist laughs to the sky. His crazy laughter is full of sadness. Being held by the neck, Commander Qin's father's face turns red. Hearing the crazy Taoist's laughter, he stutters, "Who are you? How did you know my mother?" Is Commander Qin's mother's nickname. The woman who never seems to grow old is named Jiang Mingyue. She is indeed like a bright moon on the river, beautiful and charming. The crazy Taoist fades away a little and murmurs, "Yes, if he is not her child, why would she give him the jade plate of life?" After a while, he becomes crazy again. He grabs Commander Qin's father's neck hard. "You hurt her. It's all your fault. If she didn't lose a lot of energy when she gave birth to you, even if the jade plate of life is broken, she could still be saved. Now, it's too late." Commander Qin's father doesn't understand what the crazy Taoist is talking about. He only feels that it is about his mother and it doesn't sound good. He has an ominous feeling. When he is about to ask for more details, the crazy Taoist lets go of his clothes and runs away like a madman. Commander Qin's father chases after him. The crazy Taoist is still at the door one moment, but in the blink of an eye, he is already dozens of feet away. "Master, my mother." Commander Qin's father knows that the crazy Taoist is a master, so he keeps calling for him. The crazy Taoist blinks again and appears further away. He says faintly, "There is a difference between an immortal and a mortal. I told you, but you didn't listen. You gave birth to a loser without the Taoist root. Ha ha ha. Loser." Speaking of this, Commander Qin lets out a long sigh and takes a sip of tea. This is the first time that Lin Luoran hears about the Taoist root. She asks carefully, "Did something happen to your grandmother? The jade pendant of life is broken." Lin Luoran is a green hand in cultivation. Commander Qin nods. "My father couldn't get away from the war. He wrote to my family and they said that everything was fine. When the war ended and he returned home, he found out that my grandmother started to look old after he left. My grandfather has a bad temper, so he doesn't like my grandmother anymore. My grandmother's life in the old house of the Qin family is getting worse. One day, she suddenly coughed up blood. She was so sick that she passed away after a few days. The day she coughed up blood was the day her jade pendant was broken." Lin Luoran sighs in her heart when she is telling the story. Jiang Mingyue. She can imagine how beautiful the female cultivator was. She gave up the Tao of nature and pursued the mortal world. Is she going to die alone and old? The moon over the river still shines brightly after all these years. If Commander Qin's grandmother could see this ending, would she regret it? Chapter 74. Almost every student in the state of Huaxia knows that the country was founded in the 49th year of Emperor Taizu, followed by the war to resist the United States and aid Korea. Commander Qin was only a teenager at that time. He was forced to join the army by his father and went to Korea with the army. He was a soldier in ragged clothes and had to fight in the front. Once, our regiment was surrounded by the Americans. In order to fight back, we were divided into several groups, each of us hiding in the mountains to ambush them. That year, the weather was really hot. I felt like I was about to be dehydrated from the heat, but the Americans chose to attack us at that time. The gun in my hand seemed to be firing randomly. Then, I felt a sharp pain in my heart and fainted. When I woke up, it was a night. The next time Commander Chin wakes up, it is night. He is lying under the starlight. The wound on his chest is gone, and so are the American soldiers. A cool breeze is blowing. He guesses that he is on the top of a mountain. Otherwise, how can he be so close to the sky? For a moment, Commander Chin even thinks that he is dead. Otherwise, how come his chest is intact and his limbs are so stiff that he can't move? At this moment, he smelled the fragrance of medicine. Fortunately, he could still move his neck. He looked to the right. A man in a blue robe was cooking something with his back to him. Commander Chin immediately remembered the crazy Taoist his father talked about. The Taoist seemed to notice that Commander Chin was awake. He turned around and looked at Commander Chin in the moonlight. The Taoist seemed to be in his 50s, but he was slovenly. Commander Chin was convinced that it was the crazy Taoist who saved him. He found that he could still speak, "Thank you for saving my life." His family knew that the crazy Taoist had something to do with his grandmother Jiang Mingyue, but they were not sure. Commander Chin didn't know what to call him. "I didn't want to save you. I just came here to collect ginseng and found a strange plant. I wanted to test its toxicity on you. You are lucky to be alive." The crazy Taoist snorted and didn't admit that he came here to save Commander Chin. Commander Chin didn't believe him, but the crazy Taoist didn't want to listen to him anymore. He poured a bowl of medicine soup from the stone pot and forced it down Commander Chin's throat. Commander Chin felt warm all of a sudden. He guessed that this was the strange ginseng the crazy Taoist mentioned. He was grateful to him. After another hour, his stiff limbs seemed to be revived by the warm flow. He could move again. The crazy Taoist sees that he is fine and turns around to leave. Commander Chin knows that Lin Luoran is very fast. He stands up and keeps kowtowing, "Master, can you accept me? I can endure any hardship." It turns out that he can't think of a way to delay the crazy Taoist, so he comes up with the excuse of being apprenticed. The crazy Taoist turned around and sneered, "You are just a piece of trash with no Taoist root. How dare you dream of learning the way of heaven? How ridiculous." Commander Chin kowtows loudly, "You keep talking about the Taoist root. My father doesn't have the Taoist root, so you call him a loser. My grandma has the Taoist root, but you blame her for marrying my grandpa. I don't have the Taoist root either. Master, the Taoist root has puzzled 3 generations of our family. Can you tell me what the Taoist root is?" Maybe Commander Chin's sincerity has moved the crazy Taoist, or maybe Lin Luoran's mention of his grandma, Jiang Mingyue, has changed his mind. The crazy Taoist hesitates for a second and then stops. "The Taoist said that my grandma is very talented. She is a rare genius. She can reach the level of laying foundation before the age of 50. You know the path of cultivation, training qi, laying foundation, bearing essence, gathering vitality. The Taoist said that a large number of cultivators above the level of gathering vitality suddenly disappeared 1,000 years ago. The Reiki in the world became restless, and the remaining Reiki on the earth could not sustain it. None of the cultivators in bearing essence could reach the level of laying foundation. After the Industrial Revolution, there are only about 10 people in the entire state of Huaxia who can reach the level of laying foundation. Cultivators in bearing essence have become legends. You can imagine how talented my grandma is." Lin Luoran pretends to listen quietly. In fact, she is shocked inside. She only wants to ask Commander Chin about the Taoist root. She never thought that she would learn so much about the secrets of the world of cultivation from him. 1,000 years ago, cultivators above the level of gathering vitality suddenly disappeared. Where did they go? Why is the Reiki on the earth so restless that no one can cultivate? How many cultivators in the world have not given up and are still struggling in such an environment? As for himself, could it be that he had stepped into the first step of cultivation, Qi cultivation? Seeing that Lin Luoran is listening carefully, Commander Qin assumes that Lin Luoran is interested in such secrets even though she is a Taoist. He continues, later, I asked the Taoist what the Taoist root is. He sighs and tells me, seeing that Commander Qin's eyes are full of tears, the Taoist thinks that Commander Qin is Jiang Mingyue's descendant after all. The Taoist softens his heart and says slowly, since the beginning of the world, Reiki of gold, wood, water, fire, and earth have filled the world. The 5 different Reiki not only restrained each other, but also promoted each other. That's why there is a balance in the world. However, at the beginning of the world, ancient beasts were born with special abilities. Blessed by the Tao of nature, their bodies could automatically absorb Reiki. After a long time, only ancient beasts could be seen on the earth, and there was almost no place for our ancestors to live. Later on, an unknown person passed down the method of cultivating Qi. Their ancestors practiced Qi, and their cultivation base gradually deepened. Some talented people could even fight against ancient beasts, which gave them the capital to reproduce in the divine Great Land. After countless generations of improvement, the method of cultivating Qi was perfected day by day, and it was no longer the same as the shallow method of cultivating Qi. There are hundreds of schools and thousands of schools in the world of cultivation. However, no matter how powerful the spell of any school is, the prerequisite of cultivation is the Taoist root. Master, what is the Taoist root? How can I have it? Commander Qin was only a teenager at that time. Young people yearn for the ability to fly in the sky and dig into the ground. The crazy Taoist looks at him with a trace of pity. People with the Taoist root can sense one or several of the 5 kinds of Reiki and absorb them into their bodies. The more single the nature is, the purer the Taoist root will be. Your grandmother has the nature of water and wood. She has the best Taoist root. As for you, you can't sense any of the 5 kinds of Reiki. It's easy for you to prolong your life after eating the ginseng, but it's impossible for you to cultivate. Commander Qin sighs, Luoran, don't blame me for being nosy and saying those things to Lu Zheng. I'm not trying to ruin you just because Lu Zheng is engaged to Baojia. According to that person, even the descendants of cultivators may not have the Taoist root, not to mention marrying a mortal. As the children of cultivators, we know that our ancestors are very powerful, but we can only be ordinary people. The 3 generations of the Qin family have experienced it. I don't want to see you walk the same path as my grandmother. Lin Luoran's eyes turn red. After hearing the story, she finally realizes that Commander Qin was thinking about her when he said, the Taoist root, to Lu Zheng. Thinking of Baojia who is in a coma and the weak but real Reiki in her body, Lin Luoran says, the past is gone. Grandpa Qin, don't be too regretful. If I'm right, Baojia has the Taoist root. Chapter 75. Therefore, facing Commander Qin's hopeful eyes, she nods slowly and solemnly. Commander Qin is so happy that he doesn't say anything for a while. After a while, he takes out a pendant and keeps rubbing it. Lin Luoran takes a closer look and finds that it is a jade pendant made of mutton fat jade. The edge of the pendant is inlaid with thin gold threads. The pendant is full of cracks. At first glance, Lin Luoran knows that the pendant was made by an old craftsman. Seeing this, Lin Luoran's eyes light up. Seeing Lin Luoran's expression, Commander Qin knows what she is thinking. He nods, this is the jade pendant passed down by my grandmother. The one that was broken on the battlefield. The Taoist said that this was my grandmother's jade pendant, so my father found a craftsman to repair it. He didn't pass it on to me until his death. A jade pendant that can protect its owner. Thinking that the thing inlaid with gold wires in Commander Qin's hand is made by a cultivator, Lin Luoran's eyes light up. She wants to have a look at it. Commander Qin expresses his idea to Commander Qin. The old man smiles and puts the jade pendant in Lin Luoran's hand. He says that he has been talking for half a night and goes to sleep. Except for the bead, this is the first time for Lin Luoran to touch an object that belongs to a cultivator. She is so excited that she doesn't know what to do. Tonight is really magical. First, she sees the fighting skills of a cultivator. Then, she learns about the Taoist root from Commander Qin. She even hears some secrets about the world of cultivation. Now, an object passed down by the Qin family is in Lin Luoran's hand. How can she fall asleep? Lin Luoran goes back to the guest room and turns on the lamp to observe the jade pendant carefully. Though the jade pendant is full of cracks, she can still see the picture of fishing boat reflecting the moon on the river, carved on it. It is simple but vivid. Jiang Mingyue, maybe this is the life-saving object made by the crazy Taoist for Jiang Mingyue. Commander Qin doesn't say who the crazy Taoist is, but Lin Luoran is smart enough to know that the crazy Taoist must be Jiang Mingyue's relative, even her father. If he is not her closest relative, who would go to the north of Korea knowing that the Qin family is full of wastrels with no Taoist root? There is no coincidence in the world. The Taoist is obviously there to protect Commander Qin. Lin Luoran stops thinking and looks at the jade pendant in her hand carefully. Even if the carvings are vivid, it can avoid attacks and protect the wearer. It can't be because of good craftsmanship, right? In the end, where was the difference? Lin Luoran can't see anything special about it. She picks up the jade plate and looks at it in the light of the lamp. There seems to be something wrong. Lin Luoran uses her Shang-Qing eyes to look at the jade again. The golden edge of the jade is gone and the cracks on it are ignored. She sees the inside of the jade. What are those strange lines? Lin Luoran is sure that it is not a crack. Although it is mixed in the fine cracks, the beautiful lines are full of a very harmonious and comfortable feeling, as if it should be like this. Lin Luoran is inspired. She sends a trace of Reiki into the jade plate. As expected, the lines are nourished by Reiki and light up. Maybe it is because the jade plate has been broken before, the cracks break the path of the Reiki lines. The lines light up little by little, but they can't form a complete circle, which makes Lin Luoran feel sorry. Even so, Lin Luoran is surprised. Maybe the lines that can conduct Reiki are the magic circles of cultivators in the legends. After all, the weak Reiki on the jade plate can't save Lin Luoran's life on the battlefield as Commander Qin said. Only the legendary magic circles of the state of Huaxia can make use of the unpredictable power of the magic circles. With special materials, the power of the magic circles can be multiplied by several times or even hundreds of times. The jade plate is broken. It is impossible for Lin Luoran to repair it with her current ability. Lin Luoran thinks about what she can do. What if she can copy it? Lin Luoran doesn't think that she is so talented that she can copy the magic circle only with the remains of the broken magic circle. However, what if she just copies it and understands it? It should work. There is a pen and paper in Lin Luoran's room so that she doesn't need to disturb others at midnight. Lin Luoran lays the paper and holds the pen in her right hand. She sends Reiki into the jade plate again. The lines inside the jade plate are lit up one by one as usual. This time, Lin Luoran moves very slowly. While she is reading, her right hand is moving at the same time. The pen in her hand is moving flexibly, trying to trace the lines bit by bit. The broken lines are not a problem. The distance is about 1 micron, which affects the smooth flow of Reiki. However, it doesn't affect the copying of the magic circle. The whole magic circle inside the jade plate looks small. It shouldn't be a lot of work. However, because it is small, there are so many lines on such a small area. Lin Luoran can imagine how complicated the pattern of the magic circle is. From 1 to 3 o'clock in the morning, Lin Luoran only draws half of the pattern in order to control the details. Lin Luoran doesn't skim over the lines of different thicknesses. Instead, she copies them in proportion because she can't be sure. Maybe these mysterious lines of different thicknesses and different frequencies play a role in communicating with the energy of heaven and earth with the jade pendant as a medium. The hour hand moves slowly. There is a glimmer of light outside the window. It is winter and the sky is late. Lin Luoran blinks and finally puts down the jade plate and the pencil in her hand. What? Is it already 6 o'clock? Looking at the time on the clock, Lin Luoran still doesn't believe it. No wonder her eyes are sore and she can hardly lift her right arm. The Reiki in her body is clamoring for strike again. It turns out that she has been drawing for a whole night unconsciously. Looking at the pattern on the white paper, which has been magnified more than 10 times by herself, the lines are smooth and clear. The whole pattern looks very exquisite. Lin Luoran breathes a long sigh of relief. Sure enough, this is a magic circle that can communicate with heaven and earth. In that case, she can learn something useful from it. For her, what she has done tonight is very worthwhile. What's more, since she can copy it completely, it is not impossible to make a new one. Lin Luoran looks at the result of her labor carefully and smiles with satisfaction. Chapter 76. As soon as she falls asleep, someone knocks on the door. Lin Luoran wakes up abruptly. It's already 8 o'clock, the usual breakfast time of the Qin family. Sure enough, it's the cook who is calling her when she opens the door. Miss Lin, didn't you sleep well last night? The cook knows Lin Luoran. She has been living here for 2 days and she always gets up early. She has never missed breakfast like this. Lin Luoran is not 17 years old but a 27-year-old adult. She feels embarrassed to have someone call her for breakfast. When she goes downstairs, Commander Qin is already at the dining table. Lu Sanchun and the others dare not sit at the same table with Commander Qin. Only Lin Luoran and Commander Qin are eating at this table. Luoran, the light in your room was on all night last night. Why didn't you sleep a little longer? Lin Luoran smiles. The cook must have woken her up for no reason. Lin Luoran won't say anything. Instead, she takes out the jade plate and gives it back to Commander Qin. Commander Qin says with a smile, if you like it, you can take it. Lin Luoran hurriedly shakes her head, this is your ancestors' heirloom. Grandpa Qin, you're underestimating us. I just want to see its structure. One night is enough. Take it back. My hands are shaking while holding such an antique. Commander Qin is amused by Lin Luoran's witty words. He fills a bowl of porridge for her personally, and Huang is good at cooking. Have a taste. Lin Luoran returns the favor by tearing a fried dough stick for Commander Qin. The atmosphere between them is very warm. They are like a real grandpa and granddaughter. Lin Luoran drinks the porridge and thinks it will be better if Baojia is here. She checked Baojia's physical condition last night and calculated the time. Baojia should wake up in 2 days. Lin Luoran is looking forward to Baojia's awakening very much. However, she is also a little embarrassed. It is good that Baojia wakes up. However, she doesn't even have a spell for her own cultivation, let alone Baojia. Lin Luoran thinks of the golden pattern in her dream again. If she can absorb a large amount of Reiki on the earth and transform it into peaceful and pure Reiki, she may be able to improve her cultivation at a tremendous speed without using any cultivation method. Lin Luoran doesn't need to learn any martial arts. When can she have a chance to enter her dream again? Lin Luoran is absent-minded while eating. Lu Sanchun knocks on the door and comes in. He looks embarrassed. Commander Qin bangs on the table, a soldier should have iron bones. Don't be so wishy-washy. Lu Sanchun scratches his head, we have guests. Maybe Officer Lu treats her like this because it is inconvenient for her to be here. Thinking about this, Lin says to Commander Qin, Grandpa Qin, I'll go upstairs now. She wants to take a look at the magic circle. Lin Luoran has a good idea, but she doesn't know that Lu Sanchun is more embarrassed, Miss Lin, they are here for you. Lin Luoran and Commander Qin look at each other. No wonder Lu Sanchun is in a dilemma. Lin Luoran just killed Lu Sanchun last night. She thought that no one could find her in the Qin's villa. Unexpectedly, she still comes here after one night. Commander Qin frowns. Luoran, go upstairs now. No matter who comes, I will send them away. Don't come down until they leave. Lin Luoran shakes her head. With her perception, she can sense whether someone is watching her or not. Last night, she even destroyed the only camera in the area. The only one who can come here is Wen Guanjing, her other opponent last night. Since they are from the special department, Commander Qin may not be able to send them away easily. Lin Luoran can't let the old man face the cultivator alone, so she insists on staying. Officer Lu, let the guests in. Looking at Lu Sanchuan's worried eyes, Lin Luoran just smiles. She can't avoid the trouble. She has to face it anyway. Why does she have to come out to solve the problem when she can't stand it? Ms. Huang cleans up the dishes on the table quickly. Lu Sanchun also comes in with some people. To Lin Luoran's surprise, Wen Guanjing is not the only one here. Mu Tiannan, whom she met last night, is also here. It's understandable that Wen Guanjing comes to see her, but why does Foppish Mu come here? Is it because he regretted that he didn't get revenge last night, so he comes to help Mu Tiannan when he is down? Bah! Bah! How can he describe himself as a down dog? How unlucky! Wen Guanjing and Mu Tiannan seem to know Commander Qin. They greet him politely. Commander Qin is confused. You two masters know me, a useless old man? Ever since the special department covered up Zhou Yaowei, Commander Qin has been displeased with these special department members who are said to be cultivators. Mu Tiannan sweats when he hears the word, master. The Mu family respects Commander Qin, a soldier who defends the country, the most. If Grandpa Mu knows about it, Mu Tiannan will be beaten up again. Wen Guanjing is much more mature. He knows why Commander Qin is unhappy. He thinks for a while and says, I know that Commander Qin is unhappy about the fact that the department covered up Zhou Yaowei. However, this is another matter. I respect you. Commander Qin snorts coldly. If Lin Luoran hadn't hurt someone for the sake of the Qin family, Commander Qin would have left in a huff. He wouldn't have bothered to deal with these two patiently. Lin Luoran doesn't even stand up to greet them. She smiles. What? Is Zhou Yaowei dead? It's none of my business. I went to bed early last night after I left the Blue Bird Club. Wen Guanjing frowns. Zhou Yaowei is seriously injured by Lin Luoran right under his nose. This incident will have a bad influence on the department. No one is more guilty than him. Thinking of the compromise they discussed with the department last night, Wen Guanjing says patiently, Zhou Yaowei is not dead. He has been sent back to the Zhou family. He has nothing to do with the department anymore. Miss Lin, you will have plenty of chances to take revenge. However, I'm not here for that today. It is out of Lin Luoran's expectation that Zhou Yaowei has been sent back to the Zhou family. However, Wen Guanjing doesn't mean that he is here to arrest Lin Luoran. Then what are they here for? Lin Luoran doesn't think that she has any friendship with the special department. She says calmly, what? Zhou Yaowei is seriously injured and you don't want to protect him. So, the so-called special department is nothing more than this. Everyone knows what nothing more than this means. Chapter 77. When Guanjing stops Mu Tiannan, Mississippi Lin, you come from a Taoist school. You must know the situation in the ministry. We wanted to protect Zhou Yaowei not because we don't care about his life, but because we don't have enough manpower. There is no other way. Lin Luoran ponders, Zhou Yaowei's pink mist is obviously evil. Why don't you choose him? When Guanjing is embarrassed, even so, it is undeniably powerful. Am I right, Mississippi Lin? Thinking of the pink mist that can affect people's mind and make them lose their ability to fight, Lin Luoran knows that she would have been killed if she didn't have the bead. Thinking of this, she can't deny it, Zhou Yaowei's weird pink mist is indeed a deadly weapon when people are defenseless. But why is Wen Guanjing telling her all this? Mr. Wen, I am just a girl. I don't understand what you are talking about. Why don't you just tell me what you are here for? We can discuss it. Wen Guanjing is stunned by her words. He says seriously, then I'll be frank. Mississippi Lin, you are a powerful cultivator. It will be a waste if you don't serve the country. I am here today to invite you on behalf of the ministry. Please consider it carefully. Invite her. Did he hear it right? Lin Luoran looks at Commander Qin. He is also confused. Why should I join? Give me a reason. Lin Luoran grew up as a good student. When she was a child, she used to feel tears in her eyes when she read history books. However, when she enters the society, she realizes that the state of Huaxia is not as simple as it was when the country was founded. Lin Luoran can't help but laugh when she hears the reason of serving the country. Of course, there are many old revolutionaries like Commander Qin in the country. They can walk out of a storm of bullets and make people respect them. But more than that, there were greedy people with big brains and big stomachs. How could she serve such a country that was full of parasites and desolation? Lin Luoran suddenly feels that Wen Guanjing thinks she is a fool. Mr. Wen, are you asking me to serve the country so that a scumbag like Zhou Yaowei can have a more stable environment to indulge in debauchery and have more energy to plunder the wealth of the people? Lin Luoran says. She can't hide the sarcasm in her voice. Her words make Wen Guanjing embarrassed and Commander Qin sad. As for Mu Tiannan, he has been a playboy for a long time. Except for not doing anything illegal, Zhou Yaowei behaves exactly like Mu Tiannan. Hearing Lin Luoran's sarcasm, Mu Tiannan can't help but turn his head. When Guanjing remains silent, Miss Lin, I can't refute what you said. I also know that you are a disciple of a powerful master, and we cultivators shouldn't get involved in the mortal world. Now the Tao of nature is in chaos. If we want to break through the realm by cultivation, we will die in the mountains after 100 years. It's better to live a wonderful life. Hua Guangyang from Come to Hualihua. Lin, Luoran have she say, Hua, Lin and I can pay. Commander Qin, you may know something about the flood in 1998 and the cult. The official statement is only for the public. All these things involve forces of other countries. Huaxia people are not the only ones who know how to cultivate. Is the Tao of nature in chaos? At this moment, when Guanjing says more than Commander Qin, Lin Luoran's mind is in a mess. It turns out that practicing hard will only lead to death in the deep mountains after 100 years. Is this the more realistic and profound reality of the cultivation world? What about herself? Is it worth it to persist without any spells or guidance from a master? At this moment, Lin Luoran loses her mind. She doesn't even know why she cultivates. Seeing her silence, when Guanjing raises his voice, Mississippi Lin. Lin Luoran is shocked. What's wrong with her? Why does she want to give up? She is so disappointing. So what if she lacks Reiki? So what if she doesn't have spells? So what if she doesn't have a master? She still has the mysterious bead, the space for planting and the mysterious golden pattern with great power that she doesn't understand now but will understand one day. This is a rare chance for many cultivators. How can she give it up? The Tao of nature is in chaos. Her cultivation is no longer dependent on the Tao of nature. She follows her heart. As long as she works hard, she will not regret what she has done today. Now that she is blessed by a rare chance, why can't she find her own Tao? Lin Luoran feels that something is breaking out of the soil deep in her mind. A seed finally grows out of the soil. From the accident of Baojia to the cover-up of Zhou Yaowei, Lin Luoran has made a vague choice. Now she has finally made up her mind to find her own Tao. It is just a germination of an idea. Although it is far from being mature, Lin Luoran's state of mind is different. She has accepted it half-actively. Now she vows to pursue it actively. The change of her mentality changes her temperament. She doesn't know it yet, but Wen Guanjing knows it clearly. He fought with Lin Luoran yesterday. Although Lin Luoran has a high level of cultivation, she is like an elegant bamboo. Lin Luoran is arrogant and unapproachable, but she is not very intimidating. At this time, Lin Luoran is standing in front of him. She seems to have changed. Her hesitation is gone. She is like a sharp sword, shining with cold light and threatening. If he fights with her again, Wen Guanjing is not sure that he can escape unscathed. However, he doesn't give in, which makes Lin Luoran more eager to enter the special department. The stronger Lin Luoran is, the stronger the troops in the department will be. In the operation half a month later, they may not lose too many people. They are all comrades who have fought side by side with him for many years. Wen Guanjing doesn't want to sacrifice any of them. Miss Lin, I hope you can think about it. Wen Guanjing tries to make his tone more sincere. Lin Luoran frowns. Let's not talk about whether I want to or not. I am not the strongest one. Why does it have to be me? Wen Guanjing is speechless. The reason why the special department invites Lin Luoran to join the department is not only because they like Lin Luoran, but also because they want Lin Luoran to join them. Through Lin Luoran's school, they can discuss how to work together when a secret place opens in half a month. Within 3 or 4 hours, Lin Luoran's 27 years of life experience has been turned into files on the desk of the special department. In the first 27 years of her life, there is no sign of cultivation at all. She is just an ordinary person. She was even humiliated by a rich girl in public. However, in just a few months, when she shows up in the capital, she is already a female cultivator. After the fight last night, Wen Guanjing can tell that Lin Luoran's level of cultivation can only be higher than his. Lin Luoran's level of cultivation is not scary. What is scary is the time it takes for her to reach this level. Wen Guanjing still remembers the silence of the director after reading her information. Half a day later, the director said 2 words, marrow cleansing. Wen Guanjing can't forget how shocked he was at that time. Born in a family of cultivators, Wen Guanjing is no stranger to the word, marrow cleansing. That's why he is surprised. Marrow cleansing seems to be a simple word. However, in today's world where there are no natural treasures, to cleanse the marrow of an ordinary person, the senior cultivator must be in the level of bearing essence. Since the Qing dynasty invaded Huaxia and the last senior cultivator in the level of bearing essence passed away, no one has ever entered the level of bearing essence. Wen Guanjing is shocked and says that it is impossible. However, the minister shook his head and gave a comment of, not necessarily. If there is a senior cultivator in the level of bearing essence in the world, he must not have been left after the world of cultivation disappeared 1,000 years ago, because the lifespan of a cultivator in the level of bearing essence is less than 1,000 years. There can only be one conclusion. This senior cultivator is not the one who was left 1,000 years ago, but a senior cultivator who entered the level of bearing essence by himself. Not to mention the help that a core formation senior could bring, just the identity that he represented was enough to move countless people. Advancing to the core formation stage was something that countless cultivators yearned for even in their dreams but had no hope of achieving. Now, a senior cultivator in the level of bearing essence is right in front of them. No, I have to rope Lin Luoran in. Lin Luoran doesn't know that after studying her information for a whole night, the special department of Huaxia assigns her a mysterious master in the level of bearing essence. Even if she knows it, she will only make this wonderful misunderstanding more real for the safety of herself and her friends. She will not explain it stupidly. It is tantamount to saying that one of them is stupid and rich. Come on, come on. Seeing that Lin Luoran just keeps silent, Wen Guanjing is a little impatient. Miss Lin, as long as you join us, you will be a member of our department. We will try our best to help you as much as we can. Lin Luoran sneers, for example. If I want to punish a scumbag like Zhou Yawei, will you help me to tie him up? When Guanjing nods, he has broken the law. He deserves to be punished. This is a must. Cultivators have little connection with secular people, especially Wen Guanjing, who comes from a family of cultivators. He can't understand why Lin Luoran would be so stubborn for a secular person like Qin Baojia. If he had known that Zhou Yawei could make Lin Luoran let him go, he wouldn't have to go through so much trouble. Wen Guanjing's mouth is dry. For the first time, he doubts his own intelligence. Commander Qin, who has been listening to them, keeps silent. His eyes flicker from time to time, as if he is calculating for Lin Luoran. As for Mu Tiannan, he can't help but twitch his mouth. This girl can't be moved by patriotism. Chapter 78. Lin Luoran is just a girl who grew up in an ordinary family. However, she is not as arrogant as other people when they suddenly become rich. Instead, she is extremely cautious. What is going on? However, Wen Guanjing has nothing to hide from Lin Luoran. When people are not on the same level, they usually resort to conspiracies. However, when there is a huge difference in power and they are just ants in the eyes of others, conspiracies are not as good as open conspiracies. In the current state of Huaxia, everyone under the level of bearing essence is an ant. Therefore, when Guanjing thinks for less than a minute and tells Lin the plan of the ministry last night. Miss Lin, on the night of Bermuda in half a month, I hope your master can help us. Night of Bermuda is obviously a well-known name. When Guanjing and others never think that Lin Luoran is just a lucky girl. She doesn't even know the current situation of the world of cultivation, let alone these secrets. As for asking her, master, for help, well, where can I find a master? Lin Luoran will definitely refuse. No. There is no impenetrable wall in the world. As long as it is a lie, it may be exposed. Lin Luoran wants to refuse on behalf of her master. However, what about next time? What about the next time? Lin Luoran squints her eyes and comes up with an idea in an instant. I don't understand what you are talking about, Mr. Wen. I can't agree to your condition. It seems that I can't go to your ministry. Lin Luoran doesn't mention her mysterious master at all, nor does she deny it directly. Such a specious excuse is the easiest to confuse people. Lin Luoran thinks that Wen Guanjing will give up after hearing this. However, she doesn't know that they have already confirmed that her master is the only master in the level of bearing essence. If Lin Luoran really agrees to invite her master, these people will doubt her words. Because of the limited Reiki in the world, even masters in the level of laying foundation will try their best to avoid unnecessary fights. Lin Luoran, a rookie with the bead, can't understand how difficult it is to refine Reiki, let alone cultivators in the level of bearing essence. Though they can make great power, it will take them a long time to replenish the consumed Reiki. As for Wen Guanjing's invitation, he doesn't expect to invite a master in the level of bearing essence. As long as he can get in touch with Lin Luoran, they will get closer to her sooner or later. Therefore, Wen Guanjing gets the answer he wants. He says with a smile, Miss Lin, the night of Bermuda only opens once in 100 years. Don't you want to try your luck? If you are lucky, you may find some relics of the masters in the relic. Not to mention magic treasures and cultivation methods, if you are lucky enough to find 1 or 2 elixirs, you will save yourself many years of hard cultivation. Lin Luoran has the space and she can grow elixirs as long as they are old. As for cultivation methods, Lin Luoran is tempted. What's the condition? When Guanjing says that the place is full of magic treasures and elixirs. Lin Luoran doesn't believe that there is such a good thing in the world. If there is such a place, they would have sent people to guard it and divide the loot. Only idiots would send more people there. She has never seen Wen Guanjing smile like a fox. He must be up to no good. When Guanjing laughs even harder, let's take a step back and not force you to join the department. I hope you can take a step back and we can help each other. What do you think? For example, during the Bermuda night this time, I hope Miss Lin can also give our department a hand. When our colleagues are in danger, just do your best to help them. Help each other. If it is feasible, it is a good suggestion. Lin Luoran needs a way to get in touch with the world of cultivation. It is better to have a certain degree of contact. When Guanjing's suggestion satisfies Lin Luoran's requirement. Noticing that Lin Luoran is tempted, when Guanjing adds fuel to the fire, anything you find in Bermuda, no matter magic treasures, cultivation methods, elixirs, belongs to you. However, the department has to have the priority to exchange. What do you think? What else can Lin Luoran do? No matter if the special department is out of its mind or not, it is a good deal for Lin Luoran. Mr. Wen, I can't refuse your kindness. I will do my part in the night of Bermuda. Lin Luoran stretches out her hand. When Guanjing smiles and shakes her hand, I wish us a happy cooperation. Commander Qin is happy to see that the conflict between the special department and Lin Luoran can be resolved temporarily. After all, Lin Luoran messes with the special department because she wants to avenge Baojia. He can't just sit back and do nothing. Now that everyone is happy, he is relieved. Lin Luoran doesn't relax after the temporary compromise with Wen Guanjing. Instead, she turns around and says to Mu Tiannan, who has been silent, Master Mu, you are very busy. Are you here to watch the fun with Mr. Wen? Mu Tiannan seems to have recovered. Does he forget the pain and wants to mess with her again? Lin Luoran sighs in her heart. Lin Luoran sighs in her heart. If he talks nicely this time, she doesn't mind compensating him for the ginseng seeds. Lin Luoran used to wonder why Mu Tiannan, a mortal man, would be so obsessed with a few wild ginseng seeds with Reiki. After the Reiki Jade incident and Mu Tiannan's familiarity with Wen Guanjing, Lin Luoran is sure that Mu Tiannan is deeply involved in the world of cultivation. He wants to get the ginseng seeds back, and he has been looking for jade with auspicious Reiki. Maybe he really needs it. Hearing Lin Luoran's question, Mu Tiannan coughs. Last time, he was hit by Lin Luoran's hand, and he hated Lin Luoran to the core. However, Lin Luoran's hand was full of tricky Reiki. Mu Tiannan's internal force couldn't do anything to it. He couldn't stand the pain for 2 days. God knows how long the pain would last. Mu Tiannan went back to the capital and told his father that Lin Luoran was probably a cultivator. His grandpa, on one hand, said that he was lucky enough to come back, but on the other hand, he scolded him to death. Putting himself in his shoes, if the daughter of the Mu family was visited by someone at night, he would be lucky if he didn't slap her to death. Thinking of his purpose of coming here today, Mu Tiannan wants to force a smile, but he doesn't want to flatter Lin Luoran. When he smiles, the corners of his mouth twitch, which is even weirder than a horror movie. Chapter 79. Lin Luoran's face turns cold, and the atmosphere in the room suddenly becomes gloomy. Wen Guanjing has solved his problem, so he doesn't want to stay any longer. He says goodbye, Miss Lin, I'll keep in touch. Commander Qin is a shrewd man. Mu Tiannan is not a cultivator, so he doesn't worry about Lin Luoran's safety. It's not a big deal for him to get involved in young people's business, to say the least. Even if Mu Tiannan wants to mess with Lin Luoran, he will be like a moth flying into the fire. Unlike the boy of the Lu family, Mu Tiannan has watched Lin Luoran grow up. It has nothing to do with Commander Qin. Old people need to be active. You guys talk. I'm going out to do some exercise. Commander Qin goes downstairs and tells the soldiers who are guarding the door not to meddle in their business as long as no one is dead. A soldier's duty is to obey orders, so he will not question the commander's order. Commander Qin takes Lu Sanchun to do some exercise. Let's not talk about how the honest Lu Sanchun is exercised by the old but vigorous Commander Qin. In the room, Master Mu knows that he has made a mistake again without being reminded. We have known each other for so long. Mu Tianan is good at coaxing women, but he has never coaxed a female cultivator like Lin Luoran, who is more powerful than him. He can't control his nonsense. Lin Luoran is so amused by his bitter face that she can't keep a straight face. She doesn't need to argue with him. He is a young man who has never said soft words, which makes people want to laugh. Master Mu, if you have something to say, just say it. You helped me in Rueli. As long as it's something I can do, I will return the favor. Mu Tianan takes a deep breath. He feels that Lin Luoran is so considerate and cute at this moment. Right, if she behaves like this for the first time, they won't be in a deadlock, then I'll be straightforward. I want you to help me save someone. When it comes to business, Mu Tianan shows a rare serious face. He doesn't act frivolously anymore. Lin Luoran suddenly becomes cautious. She is not a doctor, and she has no medical skills at all. Last time when Baojia was in danger, she had no choice but to save Baojia from the edge of life and death. If it were not for the help of the mysterious bead, Lin Luoran might have to accompany Baojia to the bridge of helplessness. Now that she is asked to save Baojia's life, Lin Luoran instinctively becomes alert. However, she had spoken too confidently before, so she could only laugh it off. Young Master Mu, are you joking? I'm just a little cultivator who doesn't know any medical skills. How can I help you save people? You also know Wen Guanjing. If ordinary cultivators' methods worked, why did they come to me? Mu Tianan smiles mischievously again. Luoran, an honest man doesn't do underhanded things. It's not good to pretend to be confused. Commander Qin's granddaughter, your good friend Qin Baojia, was saved by you, right? How can you say that you don't know medical skills if you can save people from the gates of hell? Lin Luoran's attitude has just softened. Hearing this, she can't help but say word by word, you investigated me? Mu Tianan waves his hand, no, don't get me wrong. When you saved people in the hospital that day, the Reiki of heaven and earth reacted too much. An elder of mine happened to pass by the General Military Hospital, so I knew that someone was using spells to save people. I didn't investigate you specifically. It's just that there are so many people in the capital watching Qin Baojia's life. It has only been a few days since she was in critical condition. Except for you, I really can't think of anyone else who could save her. Sure enough, is it too eye-catching? Lin Luoran doesn't regret that she gathered Reiki in order to save Baojia. Even if time flies and Lin Luoran knows that so many people will notice, she will still make the same choice. Baojia's life is far more important to her than the troubles of the outside world. However, Lin Luoran can't admit it. If she admits it to Mu Tianan today and really saves the person he wants to save, the entire privileged class in the capital will know it. Everyone has a headache. Lin Luoran has made up her mind to cultivate. She doesn't want to become a family doctor for the privileged class in the state of Huaxia. After thinking it through, Lin Luoran frowns and says, Master Mu, I think you know that my level of cultivation is about the same as Wen Guanjing's. How can I do what he can't? To tell you the truth, maybe it's not me who saved people that day. Now it's hopeless to ask that person for help. Sure enough. It's very close to what Grandpa Mu said. With her level of cultivation, it's really impossible for her to transform the Reiki of heaven and earth to cast spells to save people. After Lin Luoran finishes her words, Mu Tianan expects it. He is a little happy that Lin Luoran told him the truth. It's really not her who saved people that day, is it her mysterious master in the level of bearing essence who has been famous in the world of cultivation? We know it's a rash proposal to ask for your help. We, the Mu family, will definitely find an equivalent exchange. At that time, can you please forget about the past and help us? Just like Wen Guanjing, this is the truth that the Mu family hides under the table. Seeing that Lin Luoran's attitude is not bad, Mu Tianan tells her the real bottom line. Lin Luoran pretends to be very embarrassed and nods, but in fact, she is very happy. She is the master they are talking about. As for what an equivalent exchange is, it's still up to Lin Luoran. it's a big buffer for her to decide whether to save people in the future. Although Lin Luoran has made an excuse, she is still a little sad. Is it her, Tao, to leave people in the lurch for her own safety? The person that Mu Tiannan wants to save is very important to him, right? Can that person really wait until the day when she has the ability to protect herself to save people? However, Mu Tiannan clearly said that they are going to find something of equivalent value for the master to save people. Not to mention that the Mu family is not powerful enough. Can the person who is waiting to be saved really wait until the day when they find the treasure? Lin Luoran is very doubtful. Seeing Lin Luoran's doubt, Mu Tiannan takes the initiative to add, but today, I really have a favor to ask of you. Fatty Chui once sold me a special jade. You know it, right? Lin Luoran feels a little guilty. She knows more than that. That jade was originally made by her. Mu Tiannan doesn't see Lin Luoran's guilty conscience. He says, the master uses pure and peaceful Reiki to save people. I believe that there is a way to improve some things that are full of Reiki but too restless to be used. According to the master's opinion of you, it's not impossible for you to ask for 2 pieces of Reiki of the same quality as the jades sold by Fatty Chui. That's why I came here today to ask you to save people. Lin Luoran can make jade at any time. Mu Tiannan has even explained the source of the jade to her. If she still doesn't agree, it will be too unreasonable. Lin Luoran asks tentatively, is that kind of jade very useful to the person you want to save? Mu Tiannan nods, it can temporarily relieve his injury. What else can she say? Lin Luoran nods, in that case, I'll take it. Mu Tiannan is overjoyed. Lin Luoran suddenly thinks of one thing, I have to tell you something. I did get the ginseng seed, but I can't give it back to you now. If I find the jade, can we make a deal? Lin Luoran refuses to admit it. Of course, Mu Tiannan can't do anything about it. However, she did make the ginseng seed. Maybe Mu Tiannan is so nervous because she wants to save people. Lin Luoran doesn't want her Taoist heart to be broken. She'd better make it clear. Mu Tiannan is in a good mood after solving the problem of Reiki jade. It's rare for him to be reasonable. He waves his hand generously, I was also wrong about that. Since you are willing to help me, even if I can't find the jade, I won't make it difficult for you anymore. Lin Luoran sighs, this is the first time that I feel that you are a man. You are such a woman. Mu Tiannan suddenly looks like he is constipated. Chapter 80. In recent years, there had been a national craze for collecting antiques. There was a group of experts on TV all day to add fuel to the fire. Panjiayuan, located in the southeast corner of the third ring road of the imperial capital, was originally the largest old goods market in the country. Now, it was crowded with tourists and amateurs who wanted to collect antiques. Of course, the antiques were usually collected by them. However, few people know that Panjiayuan also has a stone gambling business. In some antique jade shops, the boss will put some raw jade stones in front of the shop to increase the popularity of the shop. It is just for fun. If you really expect to find jade in them, the probability is even lower than picking up the leftovers. This morning, Dong's jade shop has just opened. Wang, a new graduate, is wiping the counter with a rag when he sees a female customer looking at the raw jade stones on the ground. Customer, do you want to buy jade? Please come in. Every time he sells a piece of jade, he will get a commission. This young man, who has just started working, is full of enthusiasm for sales. He works hard every day. Hearing his words, the female customer in the windbreaker raises her head and smiles at him kindly. The rag in Xiaowang's hand falls on the counter unconsciously. 3 pure Taoist ancestors. Xiaowang dares to swear in the name of the ancestors of the Wang family that he has lived in vain for 23 years. He has never seen such a beautiful woman in the prosperous capital. Seeing the female customer smiling at him, Wang suddenly feels that the 2 pimples on his face must be an eyesore. He feels a little ashamed and doesn't know how to greet her. The female customer smiles and points at the pile of stones on the ground. Are these for sale? Her voice is like the rustling sound when the wind blows through the bamboo forest, making people feel peaceful and distant. At the same time, the bamboo leaves are like naughty little hands, scratching people's hearts. Yes. 2,000 for one. Wang comes back to his senses and nods like a chicken eating rice. The female customer doesn't bargain. She seems to pick 2 stones randomly and asks Wang to pay the bill. Wang should be happy when the stones are sold at a high price. However, he seems to be possessed today. He scratches his head and says, "That's for the customers to bargain. Since you are so straightforward, I'll make it 1,500 for one." When he said this, he also felt that it was too obvious, so he added, "I'll give you a special discount. Please come to the shop more often in the future to take care of business." The female customer didn't seem to hear the guilty conscience in Xiao Wang's last sentence. She paid 3,000 yuan according to what he said. Xiao Wang took the stack of notes and smelled a faint fragrance on it. Was it the smell of perfume? It was very simple and elegant. It must be a very expensive perfume. Such a woman should indeed use the best things in the world. Otherwise, it would be too unfair to her. After the female customer bought the raw stone, she didn't move it away immediately. After thinking for a while, she walked into the shop and looked at the jade on the glass counter. The Dong family's jade shop was small. Except for a few treasures, the rest of the shop was filled with cheap old jade that the boss collected from the countryside. There were also a lot of old jade pendants and pendants that the boss bought from the jade processing factory at a low price. Xiao Wang knew that the boss's favorite customers were the ignorant nouveau riche, who were the real fat sheep to be slaughtered. This, and this. Wrap them up for me. The female customer's slender fingers swiped across the glass counter and selected 3 simple jade pendants as if she was making a selection. Xiao Wang looked at the jade pendants carefully, and his drowsy heart suddenly became sober. Although the jade pendants were not very good and the price was not that expensive, the 3 jade pendants chosen by the female customer were all authentic pieces that Mr. Dong had personally collected. In other words, no matter the quality of the jade, they were real antiques. Xiao Wang felt that his forehead began to sweat. If he sold these 3 pieces, he would not get a commission and probably would not receive his bonus for the next few months. However, how could he tell such a dirty thing to the female customer? The female customer seemed to feel Xiao Wang's nervousness. She suddenly chuckled, "I picked the real ones. You will be punished by the boss, right?" So, she didn't choose them by luck. When Xiao Wang was still thinking about how to answer, the female customer pointed at 2 more jade rings. "Wrap these 2 together, and you will not be punished." Those 2 jade rings, on the other hand, were bought wholesale by the boss at the processing factory. They were all scraps of worthless materials processed by machines, so the wholesale price was even less valuable. If they were sold according to the marked price of the rings, they would make a huge profit. Xiao Wang was a little embarrassed, but the female customer seemed to see through his mind. "You are also a worker. I can't make things difficult for you. Wrap them all up." Xiao Wang, who was drifting in the north, felt a little warm in his heart. However, a man would shed blood rather than tears. He could only show his gratitude through his actions. He quickly wrapped the 5 pieces of jade in the most high-end gift boxes in the store. The total is 26,180 for the 5 pieces of jade. Thank you for your patronage. It's a whole 26,000 yuan. Officer Wang took the card from the female customer and quickly completed the payment procedure. "Customer, do you want me to call a taxi for you?" Xiao Wang noticed that the female customer, whom he couldn't take his eyes off of, didn't seem to have driven here. He was a little worried about the 2 raw stones she had bought. They were heavy things. How could he ask her to carry them back alone? Xiao Wang didn't notice that he was very considerate today. He wanted to make plans for the female customer. He just felt that she was not suitable to do such a heavy work out of instinct. The female customer only thought about it for a while and agreed to Xiao Wang's proposal. It was his good intention anyway, and it would be impolite to refuse. Xiao Wang ran to call a taxi. The female customer consciously moved to the door of the shop. There was no one in the shop, and it was good to avoid arousing suspicion. An old woman with a hunched back was wandering on the street. Seeing the female customer standing in front of the shop, who was well-dressed and beautiful, she immediately fixed her eyes on her. "Miss, can you have a look at this?" the old woman said while trembling. She took out a cloth bag from her arms and opened it layer by layer in front of the female customer with her skinny hands. The female customer wanted to wave her hand and say no. However, she saw that the old woman's hair was all white, and she was wearing a jacket in such a cold day. She couldn't straighten her back, and her lips were purple from the cold. The female customer's refusal was stuck in her throat. Looking down into the cloth bag, it was a phoenix hairpin made of pearls. The pearls were still glowing with a bright and glossy color. The white body of the hairpin seemed to be made of silver, which was quite rare. There were 2 exquisite phoenix heads on the body of a phoenix. But what was wrong? While the female customer was thinking about this, the old lady wiped her tears and said, "This is an heirloom in my family. If it weren't for the fact that my old man needs money for surgery, I wouldn't have thought of selling this." People with a little common sense knew that in Panjiayuan, the last thing you should listen to was stories. You were miserable, I was miserable, and everyone had their own misfortunes. In the end, your wallet was unlucky, and you had to carry back a pile of antiques produced last year. That was the most miserable thing. At first glance, this phoenix hairpin looked strange because it was too new. It seemed to have just been produced. The old woman looked at the female customer nervously, and her hand holding the phoenix hairpin unconsciously tightened. She went to several shops early in the morning, and the polite ones all said they weren't sure, while the impolite ones scolded her for selling such an obvious fake product so early in the morning. The old woman naturally knew what the phoenix hairpin was like. She just didn't understand why people said it was fake when it was an heirloom. If it weren't for her seriously ill husband, the old woman wouldn't have the courage to continue selling it. Would this beautiful girl buy it? The female customer looked at the phoenix hairpin carefully, and it seemed that she was a little tempted. At this time, Wang went to call a taxi and ran back with sweat all over his head. He was dizzy today. When he called the taxi, he remembered that there was no one guarding the shop, so he ran back in a hurry. Seeing the female customer standing outside the door, Wang was relieved, but then he felt that he was too pessimistic. How could such a person do such a thing? When Xiao Wang saw an old lady in tattered clothes at the door and asked a few simple questions, he instinctively frowned. He had seen all kinds of things in the past few months when he worked in Panjiayuan. He had heard the story of people waiting to have their kidneys and hearts changed dozens of times, so this was really a piece of cake. However, the rule of the antique industry was that even if you could tell the authenticity of an antique, you couldn't point it out when others were doing business. This was the rule. Wang didn't say it out loud, so he said to the female customer, "Customer, your taxi is ready." He had thought that the old woman would be unhappy, but the old woman didn't seem to understand the hidden meaning in his words. She just looked at the female customer who was still considering with expectation. "Old lady, how much are you going to sell this phoenix hairpin for?" Under the expectant gaze of the old woman, the female customer finally asked the price. The voice was still the same, like the sound of the wind passing through the bamboo forest, which was very pleasant to hear. Wang was secretly anxious. As long as you asked for the price, the swindlers could always lead you to buy these so-called antiques without knowing why. The old woman was scared by those shop owners, and she didn't know how to quote the price so that the girl in front of her would buy it. She was so anxious that her face turned red. The female customer seemed to be aware of the old woman's embarrassment, so she asked with a smile, "How about this, sir? How much does the operation cost?" Wang was so shocked that his jaw almost dropped. The old woman didn't understand for a moment, and when the female customer repeated, she was surprised, happy and worried. 50,000. Then she regretted it. If the only buyer was scared away by this price, how could she pay for her husband's operation? The female customer didn't object to the price, so she quickly took out 50,000 yuan and bought the phoenix hairpin. She was afraid that the old woman would be targeted by others, so she called a taxi for her. This process was swift and decisive, and Xiao Wang, who was watching from the side, was stunned. It wasn't until the female customer left with the raw gemstone in the taxi that Wang realized what was going on. The female customer had a good eye, and she could pick out the real one from a pile of fake jade. How could she not recognize the phoenix hairpin? Wang just didn't know whether the phoenix hairpin was real or not. No matter what the result was, it couldn't erase her kindness. If it was fake, the female customer just sympathized with the old woman, but if it was real, she paid 50,000 yuan. It was just a pearl hairpin. Even if it was real, it might not be worth that much. You're tuning into the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.